I'm still too sober for this.
Oh, hey, look, everybody. Campfire Quest is streaming live right now on Twitch.
Oh, wow, really?
That must be...
No way.
And that's us.
Oh, wow.
We better get to streaming. Last we left our heroes, they had just rolled initiative. Oh, gosh, Mabel's going to drink water, everybody. I am so sorry.
It won't get caught that badly.
The way she drinks, I'm pretty sure that there's a nearby podcast a few houses down that's being affected.
Well, at this
love
moment, it's just a bunch of people simultaneously in line jumping into a pool.
That's a lot of people. That's 15 seconds of people?
15 seconds of people.
15
indeed.
whole seconds.
What's it
people.
called? What's the swimming called? The fancy swimming.
Butterfly stroke?
No.
Synchronized.
Synchronized swimming.
Oh,
That's
oh.
it.
I thought you meant like a specific...
She's done.
I like getting these.
Okay. Last we left our heroes, they were surrounded by armed dwarven warriors.
Yep.
They rolled initiative and get to act before the...
No, we're starting fresh. We get to roll new initiative.
Whoa. I have a pretty okay initiative. I don't want to ruin that.
Well, we have
I mean,
to pretend like nothing
+7.
happened.
I only have a +2, bro.
It's up to the DM,
I'll tell you what, it's currently, from your rough counting, it's a 1 to 5 against right now, 10 versus 2. You guys go ahead and roll again.
And I'm going to take the roll I just got because it's an 18 plus 4, so a 22.
Ooh, look at you got better roll. Look at that.
You could
Maybe
even...
get that one.
You just... Good luck, Spit. +7. It's cocked. It's cocked.
It is, but
It's
it was
cocked,
very
but
close to
it
a
was-
nat one.
it
It was
was
literally
down.
between
Children's
17
I
and
saw
1.
It was literally almost a 1. You cursed it. It's good. Stop it. If you
If
cursed
it's
my...
cocked again?
Okay. Still garbage, but...
Okay, not that garbage.
13. Wait, no.
Oh, it's better garbage than what you had before.
6.
20 to 25.
Yes.
20 to 25.
That's him.
Oh yeah, sup, 22.
22.
Let me worry about that bet. I gotcha. You do what you do.
15 to 20.
17.
17.
Hey Grant.
Monolith, what did you roll?
13.
13. And the dwarves rolled a 3. Should they roll again? Or?
Yeah, they should roll again.
They should get a chance too.
If we roll again, they should roll again.
I agree.
I actually 100% back that.
That's crazy. I thought for sure you wouldn't
Bad
want them
luck,
to roll
Spade.
again.
I thought Grant would have argued against it, but
Listen,
Grant's a fair player.
I am a fair player. All right.
unless it's about stealth.
What does that even mean?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
What does it even mean? I never argued against stealth.
Just argued for it.
I'm gonna find me a slingshot and just like lodge this
I still
D20.
have my sling if you want it.
There we
Just
go.
don't try to sneak up on them with it.
Right. That- So 2 people
I mean, unless you get the
get
proper
a double
rolls for it.
sling. Shoot one that way, one that way. You guys have a nice
It's
little
gonna curve the sling.
nice little D20 mark right on your forehead.
So,
Like
combat
the
begins
old wanted.
with the people that are in combat. Valandril's outside of combat. The next person in line who's rolled initiative and is in the room where you are, the magically enhanced wagon that as you enter it, has you entering a large room. Remember, this wasn't as nearly as big as the King's Chamber. If I could repaint that picture for you, it looked like maybe what you'd consider a study in a house. Much wider than the wagon itself, but nothing as spacious as a throne room. There are columns that things could hide behind. There were materials that were stacked up in the corners and along the sides, and that's what obscured the chair with Quinn on it, and that's also what obscured the soldiers, it seems, that were standing in there. All that being said, Janet Tammy would be the first to act, and is, But we're going to take a moment out of the story and back out into the cart, outside of the cart where this conflict is about to take place. Because as soon as the door slammed, a very familiar face, somebody that Valandril had seen before, appears almost out of nowhere. It's the face of a much younger version of an old man that you spoke to in a cart just the previous night.
I gotcha.
This much younger version approaches you and hands you a scroll, and he says...
At this point, I want to paint everybody the picture right now that these carts are still moving. So while you guys are trapped inside and stationary, he's like holding onto the side, and this dude's like walking up, starting a conversation while he's moving.
Gotcha.
And when you see him and recognize him, I would imagine there's some hesitation. And it's in that moment that he reaches out. And he doesn't, I don't want you to think that he's walking up towards you from out of nowhere. He appears next to you from seemingly out of nowhere. And when he arrives, he reaches out and hands you the scrolled up piece of paper and says, "Remember what my father said. When you follow through..."
And we'll show the magic of having multiple cameras.
Ooh.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
When you follow through,
Nothing. You're good. You're good. Just a bump.
the signatures at the bottom will be accurate, and our deal will be done. If you don't follow through, that document is absolutely meaningless because the signatures at the bottom will be incorrect. And then he disappears again.
Oh, all right. There's something interesting on there.
He completely disappears again out of nowhere.
Wait, what? I'm reading this. That's my natural reaction to it. Wait, what? Okay, continue.
There's nobody else around you now. You're by yourself outside of a slowly moving wagon. Inside, there's the sound of
A vacuum
what
cleaner.
in the world?
I believe Shannon is blowing up her new float that she got for the pool.
Oh.
Please note that she did try and do this as stealthily as she could. She just didn't roll very well.
Nope.
She
Nope.
rolled like a monolith.
Just to clarify this in a way that won't give away things. This is a certain conversation being made good on. If I'm kind of reading it correctly. It's just not official yet.
So if you notice the names on the lines,
Yes. And it
they
very
don't
much-
match the current titles currently.
Correct.
But when you follow through with your delivery, then the signatures at the bottom will suddenly match the titles that they're written under above, and you can sign your name on the middle line, and the document becomes accurate.
Correct.
That was what was promised to you, and that's the legal version of it.
Correct.
Because
That's what I'm asking. Yeah. It's the proof of concept almost.
I didn't take intellectual property, but
It has. I'm just trying to skirt around it.
So that we don't know that you're doing something
Correct.
sneaky.
and now on the inside, Janatami, you're surrounded by 10 dwarven warriors. They've not commanded you to do anything. They've not spoken to you yet. But they have come out of the shadows and surrounded you and seem to be, as a group, moving threateningly around you and Monolith.
I'm gonna throw you a curveball right now. We have a Joe coming soon.
Okay.
Letting you know so you can adjust things as you need. Proceed as you do.
This is why I get paid the big bucks, you guys. Not a problem.
That's why you wear the robe.
Okay.
And the sunglasses.
As an interaction, can I put my hand on one of the bombs around my waist? And then they do look like they're threateningly coming towards us, right?
Sure.
Um,
Without having to even take any time to perceive, you feel threatened.
I mean, 10 dwarfs surround you with weapons drawn. If you didn't feel threatened, that'd be strange. What are you doing?
And then is that guy that was talking to us, he's still in front of us?
Yes, the one that was serving you tea.
Yeah.
Uh,
Not write down anything important. So that's good.
I would like to change what I just said because I wasn't answering it. No, but he was just a minute ago.
Oh. His name is Jericho Talakin, right? Talacorn?
That's what he told you.
Might not be his name.
Yeah, but that's what I know.
That's what he said.
That's what he told you.
It's
But,
Jericho Terrico,
Jericho
Oh.
Terrico.
the Farrago family.
Oh my god.
And is it like they're closing in on us or they're just surrounding us? Sorry.
Closing in slowly. See, it's not their turn, so for me to give them any action is going to be a
Right.
little inaccurate. But from when you first notice them until when it became your turn to act first, they have moved closer to you. It does seem like the circle is closing in on you.
Okay. Well, I'm going to put my hand on the bomb and I'm going to, for my action, cast Produce Flame just on my hand. My other hand. My hand is on the bomb and my other hand is up in the air. And I'm going to be like, that doesn't really seem like a good idea here. I would probably back up if I were you. And can somebody please explain to me what is going on? And then, that's it.
Are you? That completes your action.
Yeah, because my action was Produce Flame.
Yes.
And I can't
That's
do
a
anything else.
that's an action.
Yes. One action.
Alrighty. You complete your action. Good job.
Thank you very much.
Monolith, it's on you. You get to act before anybody else.
Oh, nice.
There's just so much this document reveals, and I'm having a great time over it. I'm so sorry.
I wish I could read it.
You guys will.
It's
Trust me.
illegal.
You guys are going to love it.
I am gonna follow suit. I'm gonna see her pull out a grenade and be like, hell yeah, and I pull out a grenade. I still got like one short sword, like grenade right hand. What side are you on? Does it matter?
You went in first, so you're probably on my right.
Which hand has the flame?
So I'm gonna hold left hand bomb, right hand short sword, ready to like, just whenever.
And that completes your action?
I'll go ahead and say something.
Wow, that was
I'll be
really
like,
insightful.
hey, what's the deal here, guys? We got a problem? What's going on?
All right. That brings us to the dwarves, who seem to be acting in unison and not with any outside orders that you're hearing. As a group, they all turn to look towards where there had been a person just a moment ago. And when they all turn towards that direction, you see the person who'd served you tea again, which is shocking. Keep in mind all these 6-second flashes in this combat scenario. For somebody to just up and seemingly appear where they weren't before is probably catches your notice a bit. And they all look in that direction, and he nods his head in a way where they all stop moving. And he says to all of them, stay exactly where you are. And make sure that they don't go anywhere outside of this wagon. And then he walks over to the door, and he opens it, and he sees Valandril, and he says, oh, hello. And he exits the wagon and closes the door. And now you guys are standing in the wagon again, still surrounded, except now you're each holding a bomb, and you're holding a handful of fire, and you have a sword,
And a bomb.
and you're in a room with Quinn, who keeps trying to struggle against her bindings and her the gag in her mouth. That takes it all the way back to people that are in combat right now, which will be Jan and Tammy.
I don't want to waste my moves, but I
don't
don't
get
know
a
what's
cool
going
action.
on.
I could have saved them.
Could I?
I guess you do. You were. I was waiting until you were in combat, and if you would like to enter combat, then that's what would be happening now.
I mean, it feels like, yeah, that's the necessary thing to do if they're trapped in there. So, is the door still locked?
No, as you reach up to it, it's not locked at all, and the person that just stepped down walked around the side of the wagon, the slow-moving wagon, and isn't in a place where you'd be able to see them now.
So, I guess at this point, he's going to come barging in like the friend he is. Just boom. And kind of see that everybody's holding a fragmentation grenade. It's just like, okay. And so, pulls one out in the right hand, and then pulls out an unlit torch. That'll be the action in this case.
Okay.
Because he'll need somebody to light the torch, but it's there and ready.
Okay.
Unless there's a flame.
You're standing in the room with everybody now. You're on the outside of the circle. The two armored dwarves closest to you turn and look in your direction. And
It's become a Mexican standoff, basically, with fragmentation.
it seems to be. We're not sure who's gonna blink first, but it is Jan and Tammy's turn now.
With that fragmentation grenade, Jana ban me.
Ayo.
I guess.
Kill us all.
I'll try.
Can I guess,
No,
make a
no way.
perception check or something to see? I don't know what I'm asking for.
Tell me what you'd like to do, and we'll figure out what rolls you're making.
Because I know that they're being hostile, and I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure if we try and leave, they're gonna attack us. But there's also 10 of them, and 3 of us. Technically 4, but 3 of us. And so I just want to see if there's like, I don't know, something duplicating a dwarf or something, you know? Like, why are there 10? I don't need this. I guess I'm going to try and persuade one of the dwarves. And I'm going to be like, I don't really know what's going on here, but I don't really like it, so I'm just going to leave. And I'm going to start
Is that a
walking
persuasion?
away. I don't know, because I don't want them to attack me, so I'm going to be like,
So
you stay there, and I'll walk over there.
first, you want to see if there's something duplicating dwarves.
I'm just stressed. I don't know what I'm saying.
Okay.
Just the other one.
The other one.
Persuasion or intimidation or...
So go ahead and tell me the action that you would carry out.
I'm going to start sidestepping towards the door.
Okay. You're going to begin to walk towards the door.
I'm gonna have the bomb in my hand. I'm gonna have the flame in my hand. I'm gonna be like, I'll do it. I don't really care about anything right now. I just want to leave.
In front of you, there's you're picturing the circle of dwarves, and they're shoulder to shoulder. There's one directly in front of you, there's one to the right, and there's one to the left of the one that's directly in front of you. Do you want to push through the one in front of you, the one to the left, the one to the right, or go in between?
They're like 3 feet tall, right? Can I just step over them?
Well, we use the word dwarf, but I'd like you to remember there's a thickness to a battle dwarf, and there's what they might lack in absolute, what you would consider tall height for a 6.5 foot half orc. 6'10", sorry, practically 7 foot half orc. It's not unreasonable to run into a dwarf that's up to 5 feet tall. So I wouldn't want you to think they're like garden gnomes.
Right.
Or even gnomes.
So just like push in between them. Which side did you say? Front, side?
There's one right in front, one to the right, one to the left. I just need to know if you're going to go to the
I'm
left
gonna go
or
towards
to the right.
Quinn. So is Quinn in front of me?
Quinn's in a corner. You said you were heading towards an open door.
Yes, I changed my mind. Can I head towards Quinn?
Okay, when you turn at this point, you're faced with the same issue at a different angle in the circle. Are you pushing through the dwarf in front of you, or to the right or left, or in between the right or left?
Which one is directly in front of Quinn?
No, I'm saying as you look at Quinn as your goal, there's one right in front of you,
Okay, I see what you're saying.
and there's one on either
Sorry.
side, and you're going to push through. And I just, based on the
Yeah.
diagram that I have,
The left one. So like go around.
as you step forward and you put your elbow towards the one in the center and begin to aim for the space, you come in rough contact with them, and they get knocked back a little bit, and you hear, "Oh!" Because you're a rather large half-orc, and you weren't slowing down. You were walking through this line of people, this picket line of soldiers.
Right.
You brace because the bulk of your half-orc body is about to make contact with the dwarf just to the left. And as you approach this, what seems to be about the same as the one you just bumped into, sized dwarf, you stumble forward as if you reached out for a glass window that wasn't there and stumbled through. And as you do, you look down and you see yourself pass through the illusion of a dwarf, and you stumble forward, and you're standing right in front of a tied-up Quinn.
So that wasn't a real
Alright,
dwarf.
That's very interesting.
The dwarf that you bumped into doesn't have a turn right now, but you did get him to go, oof.
Does that... That's like... That was just my movement, right? I didn't roll anything.
I believe you were trying to persuade somebody with your words?
Did it work? I mean, I just walked through them.
You just walked. What would you like your action to be?
I'm sorry, I know you've said this already. The other one, the one that made the noise, did I bump into it? And the other one disappeared.
Yeah. The one that was right in front of you seemed to have been solid, and you weren't pushing right through the one in front of you. You were going through the one to the left that seemed to have been an illusion.
Can my action me to like pat his chest and then grab his chest in a grappling movement? Like, you seem real. Hyunk.
Yunk.
So if you were looking, I would want you to know you wouldn't try that because you can see that it's like a plate and there's not a place to grip. But you would probably grab for one of the places where there's a like cloth coming off or billowing from one of the sides. There are plenty of places to grab a handful of cloth and grapple.
Does he have any, like, back here? Like,
All the way around. There's a whole, what could be a hood that pulls up over is down. And so you've got this breast and chest plate with the cloak coming out of it. So anywhere along there you're able to grab.
I want to, like, grab the back of the hood and be like, you seem real. To,
Did you
grapple
just
him.
lift
Yeah, I want to.
off the
Grappling?
ground?
Grabbing, yeah.
That sounds like a strength check. Is that a 1 or a 7?
7.
Plus. Oh. That's a good bonus. Okay. You do grasp cloth without any problem, and you do yank up. I would say that you mostly pull backwards, and since you're pulling backwards, the dwarf is back on the heels and being dragged. And then you're left with, you're holding a dwarf at like a 45-degree angle in your hand and holding it. And when you do that, you notice 3 other dwarves that are in the line all seem to kind of falter around and move a little bit.
4 of them?
3.
3 of them.
3
So
others.
there's at least 4 fakes. 3
And
fakes?
the other one disappeared, so that dwarf...
Did the illusion one disappear? I'm assuming we know it's illusion because she
Right,
passed
but they
through
don't disappear when
Still.
they
You just, like, shimmered, and it, I,
you
like,
pass
passed
through it.
them.
Yeah, when you
Okay.
look down, you saw you would have thought it was a ghost if you hadn't been in the middle of something like
Right.
this before.
That's all I got. I'm gonna keep holding him.
Okay. Monolith.
Or, I'm sorry, can I use the rest of my movement to just walk the rest of the way to Quinn? If nobody's stopping me? Or does...
I'm going to stop you.
Okay.
I'm going to stop you there for a couple of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
The main one is you'd have to drag a dwarf with you, and you don't get a chance to do additional
Right.
saves, and
I understand.
you did well. You accomplished a lot. Monolith.
Seeing that some of these dudes are fake, are they focused on her, like, grabbing a dude, or are they still pretty heavily focused on me?
As we go through combat, you don't really get to see a lot of the reactions from what happens to
Right.
the individual things.
Yeah.
By the end of a turn, all of that would have occurred.
Okay.
Even if there was a micro reaction, which,
Yeah.
we have those, I wouldn't say, in the same way that you saw 3 of the other dwarves seem to jerk around in a weird way, you would be able to notice that, yeah, I would say that's pretty fair. You're able to notice that a few of them are looking around with concern, and the other half all seem to be reacting to something either that's
Okay.
real or that you can't see.
Could I roll Arcana to determine which ones are illusions, or would that be
So
perception?
let's just say that you want to, while in combat, you want to try and decide who's real and who's
Yes.
not.
Yes.
Okay. Then that won't be an Arcana check
Okay.
for you, no matter how good your bonus would be.
Oh,
don't
it's
think you
not.
have
It's,
any.
it's a negative.
Then I wouldn't do that to you.
Intelligence, remember?
I don't know why that took me so long, but that's so fucking funny.
I can't wait for you to graduate.
That's so mean.
It's okay. I can't wait to get out of here and away from you and your 8 intelligence.
yeah?
Oh.
Can't wait to get away from your constant bullying.
This is what happens right before somebody leaves. Everybody lashes out, even though they don't mean it, because it's like when teens are getting ready to leave home.
Yeah.
You know what? It's going to be, and I'm sorry about the negative. You're just going to have to roll well. This will be intelligence, because you're trying to use your mental gifts based on what you
Mental
know
lack of gifts.
to look in front of you.
I didn't go to school. I lived on the
You're
streets.
not a mentalist.
No.
Hey, that's a good point. And I'm just for the sake of being a nice guy.
Yeah.
You're going to get +1, which isn't a lot, but it's +1 to whatever, because you do have some street smarts that would allow you to. You've done a lot of people watching.
Yeah. I know what real
Negative.
people.
It's a
but-
type of intelligence.
No, it's a plus. It's now a 0.
Oh.
Are we saying I get +1 or like +1 to my -1?
So calculate everything as you would without the gift, and then add 1 to it. So
Okay.
that'll probably just zero out your -1,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
so you could
Yeah.
pretend it's a straight roll.
Good. So just straight intelligence.
Straight roll.
Oh, straight roll for whatever.
Intelligence, but at this point it doesn't matter because we've
Yeah.
identified it's a 0.
14.
Yeah. What you see
Mhm.
is the one that you watched Janet Tammy walk through,
Okay.
and the one that she's now holding, and the other 3 that are behaving in a weird way give you the understanding that the other 5 that aren't behaving that way must be a second set of 5. This to you seems like 5, and of the 10, you deduce that one of these 5 that's not those 5 is real and 4 are fake. You cannot tell based on visuals which is
one's
which,
Okay.
but you certainly have a 1 in 5 chance if you were grabbing.
Right, I can tell like 5 are fake, 5 are real. I just don't know which ones.
No, I would
No.
say that
I guess.
with your intelligence,
Okay, with my intelligence.
you are gathering that
Yes.
there are 2 actual armored dwarves here, each giving off 4 fake personas. Janet Tammy is holding one of the real ones, and the 4 fakes are all floundering kind of like it
Oh.
is. That leaves
Yeah,
5 untouched, one of which you deduce with your intelligence is the real one.
Correct. I did deduce that myself.
Quite,
Sure.
quite.
Congratulations, intelligence finally worked for you.
I will throw dice at you if you continue to berate me as such. Anyways, moving past this rabble.
Oh my goodness, it's just like the episode of Sunny, Flowers for Charlie.
So,
I thought he was killing it as Mr. Hal from Gilligan.
that could be it.
Darling.
Darling. And the skipper too.
All right, Gilligan, what's up?
I'm gonna use the end of my sword to poke at real or fake to determine whether they are in fact real or fake.
Well, you're kind of limited with your time. You get to make it. Well, you've actually just used a lot of your time by using your
By
intelligence.
squinting real hard and like
It doesn't. It takes a lot of time to deduce. You have movement left, and with movement, you could solve some issues.
I think I'm going to do something different. I am not playing as my character would.
He's subverting expectations.
He's a cornered rat, and he grew up as a rat, so he's just gonna swing. He's just gonna swing, and he knows he's gonna swing at one of the ones that didn't act funky. He knows the ones that acted funky are fake. So he's gonna look at the ones that aren't funky, swing at the one he likes the most.
Okay, well, I'll make you a deal.
Okay, deal.
I'll make you a deal. You've already used your action to do your awesome deducing.
Never mind.
But you have with your Usain boots, you've got 30 feet of movement, and this is a pretty small wagon insofar as a room only occupies so much space, so you can use your movement however you want.
I know exactly how I'm going to use my movement.
Okay.
I'm going to step into the ring of dwarves and just do a lap through the dwarves until I hit something solid.
Okay. Thank you. That's what I wanted to hear so bad. I wanted to even see it in my head, and I can because Monolith deduces and makes a decision all in the same turn, and manages to run all the way around the circle. You know how when kids run and they run with their arms straight because they're trying to go so fast?
Yeah.
Or they might like use the train pistons to go extra fast. Monolith is really pouring all of his heart into it. Mm-hmm. And he runs all the way around the circle. And he passes through 3 fake dwarves that are lurching around in a way that makes it seem like Janatami might have them by the shoulder also. Mm-hmm. And then you pass through 2 more that are just kind of standing and looking towards the center. And then instead of passing through the next dwarf, you're running so fast with your flash hands that you slam into a solid dwarven figure at about the 90-degree angle from the side and send him sprawling 5 feet. Yeah, a full 5 feet of skidding on armor. And when that happens, many of the fake dwarves that you ran through also seem to scatter in different directions. You've identified the other dwarf, and he's now on the ground.
Good.
And
that's great. Do I trip, or do I just...
No. While you were running so fast, when you hit him and threw him, the energy transfer went all into him, and you maintained your stand up.
Right.
Even though the camera's not on her, let's all sit around. Yeah. No, let's say, hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Hey.
Welcome.
Stealthily. Oh, never mind. You on here?
She got a 14.
I was stealth bonus. That's a 16.
Ooh,
got a
there you
16.
go.
I didn't notice. I have a 0 wisdom.
Well,
Is that perception?
Quinn, you've been tied up in a chair trying to break free the whole time these dwarves were attacking, mostly Janatami and Monolith.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was pretty sad. Valandril's in the room, but it's the dwarves' turn to act, and one of them is going to use their action to stand, which is what has to happen.
Good.
The one that you knocked down is standing up, And when he does, the other fallen fake dwarves also seem to stand up. And the one that is holding you, we're going to be doing a strength check again, or this will be a save for me. So what's your strength?
Like my plus or my actual strength? Because it's 20.
Oh, okay.
Bless you. Thank you.
The dwarf you're holding struggles against you, but you are clearly stronger, and they're not able to break the grapple. So one of the dwarves is grappled. 4 of the fake dwarves seem grappled, even though they're just kind of hanging out there with nobody on them. And then the other 5 are all standing to their feet. And when they do, one of them, the one that you've got your eyes on, Monolith, stands and approaches you and says, "You've made a big mistake now." And that's all he's got.
Straight up gonna chop his head off.
Valandril?
Like,
So at this point, if I'm following along with like everything that's been happening right there, to break it down very simply, they're engaged with 2 real dwarves, and the other ones are shimmering almost, but still exist.
The illusion is so good. The only thing that lets you know they're not real is they're not moving independently of the real ones that you can identify.
Got it.
Can see.
So with no way to be able... Actually, you know what? I'm going to immediately go to try to bust her out.
Fair enough. So you, without any problem at all, cross the distance on the wagon, and yeah, it'll be a strength check. No, strength or dex. You get to pick, because you're either ripping bindings or you're untying.
Both are kind of like pretty good, but I'll do dex. Yeah, it's 10.
So 6 seconds is a long time, but not long enough to unravel the knots. I would say the first thing you reached up and did, or would you go for knots or for mouth gag first?
Knots first. Let's be real. Her mouth isn't that useful to us right now.
You're after the guns?
I'm after the big guns. After the real show.
You stumble on that, and let me just say that the only reason it's a fail is because there's 20% of the bindings left to untie before they fall loose. But you've accomplished practically all of the job and just not quite the end of it.
Just one hell of a knot.
At the end, there's a... I almost feel like it's not a knot. It's just the way everything's wound around. You're going to need to loosen that before it falls. But you're right there. And at this point, I would ask Quinn to go ahead and roll initiative, because you'll also have a chance to break free now that you're here.
All right.
That'd be a D20 plus your dex.
Go with the original roll.
Did you just roll a second? Oh, that's just on...
That's exactly what the dwarves have, and since they just had their turn, that means it's... we're going to back up from Valandril. You were in a chair before he... okay, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and just start all the way over.
What?
Because... not all the way.
I had such good plans.
Because now that Quinn has the ability to use her strength to break out, and you're there to help, then I would have the 2 of you working together to see if you're able to get her out. So instead of leaving with 20% of the knot still there, I'll have both of you decide to either together roll a dex or a strength.
I thought I was going back to opening a treasure chest and ending up in prison.
Totally use strength. If strength is your
Going all the way
highest
back.
level.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, look at the difference. Like,
Oh, yeah.
For reals.
Oh, yeah.
For reals.
All right. Okay.
I got you.
Okay.
Got your friend.
Is one person rolling twice? Or is each person rolling
We're
once?
waiting for numbers to show up.
Do you want to roll twice or?
We have 2 d20s here. We can
Okay.
roll together.
Okay.
Knock, like when they roll them together, make sure they hit. Make sure they knock together.
3, 2,
Good luck.
1. Almost
I gotta
got
sing
it.
these. I gotta sing
That's
so bad.
not bad. Both
Both
are 18.
Yeah.
That's after modifiers and everything, 18?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Nice.
that was certainly above the 15 that was the DC for this. You happily, and Quinn is somebody who does not like to be confined to a chair, and as she bursts out of those bindings, we're now going to go up to Jana, Tammy, you two are completely free and unencumbered and joining the battle the next time this rolls around to you. If there's any battle left to be had, because right now, Jana, Tammy, you're holding a dwarven soldier, and there's another one that's threatening Monolith.
Yep.
Would have done more if he didn't have to stand up.
Yeah, probably would have attacked me.
Probably would have.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast Charm Person at second level. So it grabs both of them. Both of the dwarves that I know to be true.
And are you able to isolate and just choose those two, right?
Yep.
Okay, go for it.
The dwarves that I know to be true.
Actual dwarf.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna be like, I think it's best that you stand down, and it's not gonna be good. They have to be 10 or higher, but I feel like if it works, it works.
All right. What's the roll there? DC a 10?
Wisdom saving throw of 10 or
Wisdom.
higher.
All right. I guess I'll need the old glasses. They save.
Yeah, I figured.
I mean, barely, but it's a save.
They made it out of it?
Yeah.
Oh, they aren't charmed.
Nope.
I'll make a charm.
And do you have anything else you'd like to do during your time?
I don't want to waste a wild shape.
In here? It's such a tiny little cabin.
It'd be funny, right?
I know,
Big spider.
Big spider would scare Monolith would poop his pants.
Drop a boulder.
Can I use, I don't know, I think this is just a skill, but it's called grappling pin, and it allows me to pin the creature that I've grappled. And
Is
if
that
I
an action?
succeed, the creature is both restrained. It's restrained completely, so they can't
Sure,
do
sure.
anything.
Let's do that.
So it's another grappling check.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead and roll your strength check. Your strength roll.
16.
Totally grappled. And now restrained.
Cool. So you can't.
You've
do
got him.
anything.
Am I seeing right that you would have taken him and slammed to the ground? So it's a. Is it prone or restrained?
Restrained. I was thinking more like pick him up some more and like.
Yes.
Hug him.
Yeah, just full on.
That's very Janet Tammy.
So you've got one dwarf under this arm. Okay.
That's a good one yet. All right, little fella, let's go.
We're getting on the train. Here, take my luggage.
So there's a couple angry arms out of the front and a couple angry feet out of the back that are wriggling around. But yeah, you've got him under your arm like a, like maybe a very large sheep.
What are the ones that are with him? What do they do?
It looks like they're on the ground, but they're in a weird prone position. They don't float off the ground at the same level, but they're in the same position near the ground.
Okay.
It's a spell that's meant to keep its illusion up as long as possible, and floating things would definitely take that away.
And then I don't know, can I speak at all? Or was that my speaking?
Oh, okay. Well, you have like 6 words, and you couldn't really expect an answer, but you can bellow anything you like.
I was just gonna be like, y'all brutes?
Y'all brutes. Yeah.
Fair enough. You get no response, and Monolith.
All right. This guy threatened me and tried to hold me hostage and clearly kidnapped a comrade. So I'm going to clock him in the face with my sword hand, like with the brunt of my sword. I'm just going to like try to knock him unconscious, hit him as hard as I can.
Okay.
Is that a... Do I roll to attack?
Roll to attack like the good old days.
Is that unarmed strike, or do I use my short sword hit DC
I
thing?
think that's up to you. Or are you hitting him with?
I'm hitting him with like I'm holding the sword and I'm hitting him with like my fist part, like the. So I'm technically not unarmed, but I'm not stabbing.
Yeah, we're gonna do an unarmed strike, but we're gonna do +1 to it. Unarmed is normally
+5.
okay, so this will be a 6 if
All right.
you're successful.
Should I be successful?
Oh,
That's pretty successful.
Yeah, that's pretty poppin'.
That's 25.
Oh, well, yeah. That definitely hits.
Yeah.
All right, so -6 we decided because you're using the heavy part of your sword.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and is there anything else you'd like to do? He takes a hit, really. I mean,
Yeah.
we know how the hit points work. He's not unconscious, but it's the kind of hit that you would think would knock somebody unconscious. He picks his head up and looks at you again, and he's dazed. You took a chunk of his life out of him with that hit.
Can I use my movement action to point my sword at him? Or does that...
That'd be more of an interaction. Feel free to do that.
Okay, so my sword, I'm going to, like, level it at him. And I'm going to be like, listen, bud, you don't want to do this.
Okay,
And that's the end of that turn.
good. Good interaction. All right. That takes us to the dwarves. One of them rolls so low that he can't wiggle out of Janet Tammy's arms. And the other one, let's do, it's got to be like the other end of persuasion, or persuasion.
Intimidation?
Yeah.
Am I going to get intimidated?
Cowardice.
Cowardice.
This will be more like, yeah. Oh, I know. Constitution actually makes sense. With a strong constitution, he would stay and fight and fight and fight.
Yeah. With a weak constitution, poo his pants.
I'm going to say that. He agrees to your terms. He would like to stop fighting now.
Okay.
It's only because of the role. These are very dedicated warriors.
Right.
And they are now facing certain death in a wagon in the polar north. This is not where they live.
No.
The Hungarians do not live in an icy land. They're 4 or 5 days travel away from melted snows and green grasses and the beginnings of the northern part of the world that they're from. And nobody wants to die here in the polar north.
Right.
And he gives up hardcore right away
Gotcha. Good.
with a 3.
So very much.
Normally, somebody that would pretty much stick around and be tough decided this isn't the day.
Yeah.
All right. That takes us in an odd out-of-combat situation where the 4 of you are reunited for the first time in quite some time. And you've got 2 dwarves, one of which has agreed to not do anything and the other that can't seem to. Slowly, not sure exactly who's holding the spell up, but whoever it was decided that it's not worth the energy anymore, and 8 of the writhing and oddly behaving other dwarves disappear.
All right.
Well, now somebody gonna explain what's going on here. I'm talking to you. Shaky shake.
Shaky shake.
Hey, quit shaking me here.
Tell me what's going on. What do you want?
I follow orders. I want my pay, and I want my family to be safe.
What are your orders? Shake, 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 shake. I'm shaking baby syndrome.
I think I'm in enough trouble already. I'm not supposed to tell you anything.
You're gonna be in a lot more trouble if you don't tell me anything right now.
You talk big.
Shake, 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 shake.
Rule for intimidation.
I can't tell you. Shake.
This isn't
It's on a
torture.
roller coaster.
We're almost there.
Jan and Tammy used to do this with their chickens for them to drop things.
Oh, so comparing chicken to dwarves.
Intimidation. Oh, that's a good buff.
13?
Yeah. It wasn't. The DC is pretty low. He's.
He's getting shaken off.
Okay. Ask your question. Oh,
What are you doing? What are your orders?
to keep you in here and not let you out.
For what? Why?
We follow orders. The boss told us. And he looks over at the other dwarf who's you've got it at sword point.
In grenade point.
He's like, "You keep your mouth shut. You know we're screwed."
Can I then try to intimidate? Like, I think you should start talking too. Maybe your buddy over here seems to be butted up. Why don't you help him out, huh?
I'd rather not.
Try shaking him. It seems to work.
I'm gonna like.
There's no need.
I'm gonna like.
Question: do I recognize either of these guys?
No. Let's see. If you did notice anything, it would only be in the way that you find little bits of roll for let's do insight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Could be worse.
could be 8.
I meant perception. Reroll that.
That's a good way to do that.
Oh no, that was not the actual. 16.
That's significantly good.
Only in the sense that if you sometimes see somebody and you think, wow, that looks like Aunt Mildred. Or, man, that looks like... And that obviously, please understand, these dwarves have been living in these communities for so long. That doesn't mean anything about last names. It just means these rich families have been sharing cousins with one another for... It's a royal family that's been around for 800 years.
Yeah.
They have different last names, but how many generations does it take to swing back around?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you might recognize a loved one or two, but that doesn't necessarily tell you anything about last names.
Okay.
That's your perception and your insight.
Okay. And I don't see Brendine anywhere.
Nowhere.
Alright.
Nowhere.
Okay. She's still got one of them. You still got one of them, like, under
Shake,
your
shake,
arm,
shake,
right?
shake. Who's your boss?
Yeah.
Shake.
Can I
Shake,
just
shake.
walk up to him and punch him in the face?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
for
got
sure.
this taken care of.
Roll for punch.
Roll for punch.
It'll be with advantage because it's they're restrained and all those other things.
Okay.
Basically, you just have free reign to punch them in the face. You don't. Why? You shouldn't even be rolling.
Okay, I was gonna say I got a 16.
Yeah. You're-
yeah.
You could even roll lower. The little dwarf face is just sticking out there, and so you walk up like a one of the punching bags, and you pop it. You could even
Whack
tell me:
him.
are you aiming cheek, chin, jaw, nose, forehead, eyeball?
Probably a nice shot to the cheek. Now, I don't want to knock him out, but I do want to ring his bell a little bit, rattle him.
That's what happens. That brain inside the brain pan bounces around a few times. He gets that splatter of stars, and as the world comes back into focus and color, and there goes you go from 4 of you to 2 of you to 1 of you again. He said he doesn't say anything, but he's got a much more subdued look on his face. He was pretty insistent on getting out of Janet Tammy's arms. He seems a lot less insistent on getting out now.
I kind of bend down towards his level and I'm like, start talking.
Please ask the question again.
Who's your boss?
We work for the Heckentorn family.
Elaborate.
The Heckentorns hired us to be their soldiers, and every so often they give us money, and sometimes they ask us to fight or do jobs for them. One of the jobs that we did was to come in here and to make sure that you didn't get out of your chair, and to make sure that these fine people, did not leave this wagon. So if you guys could just stay here, and ma'am, if you could go back to your chair, there's a good chance that I might get to keep my job.
Who hired you? Name some names.
Heckentorn.
Name an actual name. Who's your boss right above you?
Oh, that'd be the sergeant.
Sergeant who? I swear to God, if you say Heckentorn, I will shake you until you pass out.
That's his name. I could give you a first name?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm asking for, please.
Okay.
It's Sergeant.
His name is Sergeant Heckentorn. What are you people not getting?
Goes
Who's
by-
on first?
Goes by Sarge.
Parents were really, really into the military. His brother's corporal. Sister private. His cousin is Johnson, but no. They weren't as into the military.
Kandar.
Kandar Heckentorn. What is it again?
Sergeant Candor Heckentorn.
Candor Heckentorn.
He's the one that receives the orders directly from, the family leader.
Who is?
Do I really have to tell you the name of the...
Yes, of course.
I'm
Give
gonna
it
start
to me.
shaking.
Start shaking.
As long as there's no punching.
Duly noted. Kind of rubbing this again.
Francis Heckentorn?
Francis von Heck.
No, Vaughn, that's his son.
That's his son.
His son, Van Turen.
That's who we were looking for.
Ooh, that is who we were looking for.
Like, oh, I remember that name. We're looking for him. You guys know where to find him?
Well, he's with the family wagon, I'm sure. At this point, I don't think I'm going to get to live through this.
I mean, we're not going to kill you. What are you talking about?
You seem like very nice people. Well, you've punched me and shaken me quite a bit. I'm not worried about you killing me. That's not my fear.
No, the Heckentorns.
Yeah, I feel
Well,
like
why
that
are
was
we
kind of
immediately thinking the Heckentorns are the bad guys here?
Well, I'm not thinking they're the bad
ones
guys, but
who, ordered for us to.
They also think we're working for the king right now.
so are they getting us because they think we're working for the king?
You don't know that.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Do you think they're attacking us because they think we're working for the king?
Right now, I trust nobody.
I feel like we never trust anybody.
All right. Can we deliver you to a different house, to a different wagon, so you don't get murdered?
No. If you were kind enough to let us go, we would have to go report to our boss, to our sergeant, and eventually to the family. That's just... There's no safe place. This is the... We're all members of the Hungarian army. I can't just...
Right. Well, I guess it was nice knowing you guys.
Hey, no, that is not how we're gonna do this.
I don't know of any way to keep them alive. What if we deliver you guys to the Heckentorns and request that you don't be killed?
What are the Heckentorns after? Do you know?
Also a good question.
Well, what all the great families want is power, to be in control,
Yeah,
And
that's
do you
fair.
know how they're going about doing that?
To be the mayor.
probably trying to win the next election.
Yeah.
And that's it? That's all you've heard? Just the election?
Well, that's how we change kings here.
Right, but there are other ways to
Remove a
dethrone.
king.
Oh, I wouldn't know anything about that.
And you?
The one that I'm grenade sword point.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, they probably tried to kill the king before.
Yeah?
I would say that not all of them, but there's some.
Who? Can you name names?
No,
Are you
They're
sure?
not necessarily good assassins if they're gonna have their names out there.
Yeah,
That's
it
fair.
doesn't hurt to ask. You never know. Networking's important.
roll for persuasion.
Ooh.
It was both of you, so you
Yeah.
each get to roll.
Each roll. Ooh.
But
Can I get higher? Damn.
It's a
And
double nat
11.
one.
Oh.
No,
Okay.
you should got an 11.
What's
Okay.
your persuasion bonus?
0.
Okay. So let's hope that I get better.
Oh, persuasion?
Yeah, persuasion.
Is it persuasion?
Yeah, he said
Oh,
persuasion.
sorry, +3, so.
That's
14.
14. Oh! I think we're gonna go with my roll
Yeah.
of 23.
oh,
Yo!
wow, because you know how much I hate to share the DC, but 20.
Oh!
They were not going to answer that question.
Not at all. Wow.
Uh,
Plus 5%. I'm glad I spec'd into that.
They do.
I made it a proficiency. Yeah.
Go ahead and specifically ask the question again that you've earned.
You were asking it. We were both kind of asking.
Yeah, it was.
You missed it.
What were we asking him?
It wasn't about. Oh, name names. Can you name names? Who's trying to kill the king?
I think that's-
Yes,
Right.
yes, yes. Because you seem so scary. and because I've been persuaded with your words,
Persuaded.
I'm going to tell
Just
you
barely.
that Valturin Heckentorn is in league with
Hearing that name.
Brandine Brickard.
Oh, Heckentorn and the Brickard working
And
together, huh?
The two of them have a plan, and if they're able to make the plan happen, then well, we'll have a new king, and all will be well in our kingdom.
Right.
All will be well in our kingdom. You think what they're doing is a good thing? Genuine question, not a right or wrong answer. I want to know your opinion. I'm new here.
What's your name?
I'm new here.
Yeah, but you know what? My name is Jan Tammy Woods. You know what? I'm sorry. Here. I'm
Set
going to
him
set him down. My name is Jan Tammy Woodsman. It is an absolute pleasure to meet you. Could I have your name? And you too. I'm so sorry. Jan Tammy Woodsman. Pleasure.
The first one that you've been speaking to that's didn't want the names spilled says, "My name's Alfin."
That's a good name. I like that name.
Alphen what?
Heckentorn.
Alphen Heckentorn.
I mean, you
And
can
you?
almost assume.
My name's Falelf. It's Falelf.
Falafel.
Heckentorn?
Falafel.
Yeah.
Genuine question. I want your real answer. Do you think the king should be no longer the king?
Whether through election or murder.
You need to, if you're new here, I'll try to just explain it easily. The families care. We don't care. As long as our jobs are still jobs and as long as our families are still safe, we don't care who's king. We don't even get to vote. It's the families that own land that get to vote.
Oh, we're back to like everybody gets to vote, but only if you own land and have a lot of money.
My hope is to make enough money as an adventurer and a soldier to be able to one day buy the land that makes me a voting citizen. But, you know, for now, I'm just a working Joe.
The voting seems kind of lame. Only like a small percentage of people can vote. Why didn't they just let everybody vote?
I don't really understand much about government.
Oh, okay.
I really kind of want to bring up right now that they were designed to keep us here, and we're kind of doing that just chatting to them. Don't we have someone to find?
I'm actually, if Brendine isn't here, I'm gonna go find the nearest exit. If it's locked, I'm gonna kick it in, and I'm gonna go look for him. Because the last thing I heard before I ended up tied to a chair was, you know, enough for me to already want his head, and now I hear that he's in league to kill the king, which I don't have a particular opinion about, but it gives me another reason to chop his head off before he does anything. So, I'm gonna go find him.
Did you share with the group what's going on or why, or
No.
are you
No.
you're kicking in the outer door, which isn't locked, so it kicks open easily,
Okay.
and leaving the wagon?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just, this is a lot, and I'm not thinking about letting anyone know what's going on right now. I'm thinking about finding him and chopping his head off.
Okay.
Possibly with my bare hands.
All right. You step out of the wagon, and this is just think about it with me. A long, slow-moving wagon, and it's broken up into 5 chunks, essentially. You guys are near one of the chunks that's closer to the front.
Okay.
And you step out, and while there are marching soldiers that are exactly in order and wagons that are being pulled by different beasts of burden, you don't see anybody out and about walking out of formation necessarily.
Okay.
You certainly have access to all the wagons and all of the mounted individuals and even the walking soldiers for talking, but as far as Brandine, you don't see the person that looks exactly like your husband.
Okay. I am gonna kind of move through the crowd and the people that are walking, the people that are mounted, if there are windows into the sections of the wagon, I want to look in them to see if I can see anything in there. If he's maybe in another wagon closer to the front, or if he's not there, I'm gonna see if I can find the Brickard family wagon, like their column.
Right. So they're at the ends.
Yeah.
It's a place of honor in the column, and if you decide to walk back there, it's a rather lengthy walk. And I would say that during your investigations, I'm not having you roll because I know that even with an amazingly good roll, you're not going to make him appear there because that's just not where he is.
Okay. So he is not among the crowd that we're in the middle of.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go talk to my in-laws.
All right.
So Quinn, who you've just freed from a tied chair, has kicked open a door and left the wagon that you're in. You guys have a couple of stunned dwarves and armored and armed previously
Right.
in front of you. What are you doing?
And we noticed her do this.
Oh yeah, it was just like she just left your circle and loudly exited.
Should anybody follow her? Should
I
we
feel
go
like
in?
we should all probably follow her.
Well, I mean, I kind of want to head to the Heckentorn wagon.
I mean, I agree, but I don't want her getting hurt.
Right.
I don't know where she's going.
Neither do I.
She could take care of herself, so, right? Blah.
Well, I mean,
Tongue-tied.
if she gets ambushed by an entire family of dwarves, even if all four of us were there, wouldn't help. So I mean,
I just don't think it's really the best time to split up.
yeah, being
I
alone.
think we need to stay on target.
Which is to find Valen's. What was his name again?
You're looking for Van Turin.
Van Turin, yeah.
Val Turin.
Val Turin.
Valtorn.
We already tried that once. If he's... That's all, folks.
Well, you know what? They said that he was working in cahoots with this, Rickard.
Oh, you
What's
know
his
what?
first name? I'm sorry.
Brandine Brickard.
Brandine.
I guarantee that's where she's headed.
Why?
Because it's her last name.
You know what?
Yeah.
And you know what? I bet we'll find Heckentorn, Valtorn.
They might be buddy. Is
So
that
maybe
what
maybe we should follow her. They're probably
Yeah.
all gonna be in the
If
same
you guys
spot.
want to go for her, give me all the information possible on the girl because I'm concerned about her safety.
I think
Oh,
we're
yeah, the girl.
past this right now.
Oh, the girl.
She's safe.
No, she's
We don't
important.
know that. We just
She's-
got ambushed by, well, technically 2 dwarves.
Yeah.
We got ambushed by 10 dwarves.
Right. And turns out only 2. But
And now we're
remember
just
when I
gonna-
told you that the soothsayer said?
Yeah, she told us to find
The
Valtorn.
soothsayer said on a sunny Saturday.
All right. She told us to find Valtorin.
She also said a lot of other things.
Yeah. But, okay, she said to find Valtorin. And when I asked her about the girl, she said that, like, everything would be made clear if we find out who she is.
And why she's important.
Why
and I
she's
think
important.
finding out why she's important is finding the people who think she's important and asking them.
That's fair. You know what? I'll agree.
I'm not disagreeing.
No, but,
I'm
like,
just saying,
definitely wanna keep an
If
eye.
we're gonna split our efforts right now, we can split 2 and 1.
But I'm saying I don't
Yeah.
think we should split our efforts. This
Well,
is all
our
we
efforts
have
are
right
already
now.
split. She is gone. She
I'm
has
saying
left.
we should follow her.
As much as I want to follow her, I think that he might be correct in protecting the
Here.
girl.
I know you don't want to split, but you're one of the strongest of us. If you
Yeah.
go with her and you guys get in a fight, 2 of you are easily gonna handle yourself.
Yeah.
Me and him, we're a little
Sneakier.
sleuthy.
Squishier.
We're better at keeping eyes on things. You're
We
better at
can
keeping
stick
hands
in
on
the
things.
back.
Somewhere in the
So
dark
the
in
two
snow,
strongest people
Quinn
should be next to
sneezes
each
because there's
other,
someone talking
and the
about
two
her.
weakest people should be
Now,
with
hold
each
on a
other.
second.
If you
We
wanna
ain't
put it-
weak. That is
Monolith, now's not the
offensive.
time.
I take that very personally.
I'm just saying.
I try to work on my physique. I try.
We're the fastest.
Okay. Yes.
I
we
don't
can cover-
mean anything by
No.
it. I just, I tower over.
Well, if you think we're the weakest, then why do you want us in combat anyways?
Yeah. There you go.
I'm just saying, I'm scared for your safety.
Well, we can handle ourselves, Missy. We're not children or dwarves being incapacitated
You're
by a
not
7-foot
children.
See,
orc.
at this point,
but-
I'm rooting for Monolith now to win that little fight from earlier, and Valandril starts walking out.
I'm gonna go with him You do as you please, but we suggest you go with Quinn.
Okay.
We certainly can't force you,
Just
but we suggest very strongly that you go with Quinn.
fine, but
What do we do with these guys?
just leave them.
Leave them.
All right, you guys take care of yourselves. Hopefully you aren't dead, but you did try to kidnap us. So if you are dead, honestly, not that much skin off my back.
Well, thank you for not killing us. Do you
Yeah.
guys want to hang out? We could have some snacks and just sit here in the wagon for a little bit.
As pleasant
Hey,
as that
boss.
sounds,
My name's Meek.
I'm gonna have to decline. I understand what you're going for there, and I appreciate it. I respect it.
It's cold out there, baby.
Monolith, you coming?
Baby, it's cold outside. I
They're
wish
gonna
you
slit
would
my
stay.
throat.
I wish you would stay. Gotta go kill some dudes. They'll take me away.
We got
Still gotta kill some
box of
dudes.
foil.
Do I see where Quinn went at all?
Yeah, because this slow-moving parade of a column is moving in one direction. Quinn is marching in the other. Her pace fast. The parade going in the other direction slow. But when you add them up, she's covering a lot of ground pretty quickly. And so when you finally see in the distance as she's walking, you can tell she's about 1.5 units behind where you are. And for you to catch up, you'd have to not only match her pace, but, well, a little bit faster.
I'm just gonna turn around and be like, "Be safe, I guess," and run off towards her.
Okay, well then if you're running, it doesn't take long for you to catch up. And I can picture the snow crunch, 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 and Quinn's hears it louder and can tell from the pacing and the steps who's clumping up behind her.
If she gets too close too fast and like looks like she's not gonna slow down before she overshoots a little bit and runs past me, I'm gonna close my her.
She runs up and actually slows to a walk next to you, and is now falling in line next to you. And you guys are both walking in the back, walking towards the back. It's completely light out. The group, you were tied up to a chair and maybe even unconscious for part of it, but the sun had come up. All of the camps had been pulled, and the whole caravan has been moving. And right now it's about mid-afternoon. Earlier, they even had a chance to stop by a soothsayer who lives in the
We
frozen
didn't get to tell you
tundra
that.
On a Sunday.
on a Sunday.
A Sunday,
Sunday
a soothsayer saying on Sun,
Blah 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 blah.
a,
A soothsayer seance on a Sunday.
a soothsayer seance on a Sunday Sauvignon?
Sovereign? What?
No, there's a. It's
Subword,
a French word.
the location, the place,
No.
Sauvignon Blanc?
the school.
No, it's like a. It means like to travel. I'll have to look it up. I
Bon
apologize.
voyage?
I had a great thing all set up and everything.
Well, as you crunch, crunch, crunch up next to Quinn, who's angrily walking and looking at the ground about 3 feet in front of her as she's trudging, do you guys march in silence, or is there any conversation that's
going.
attempted?
Going to see my in-laws.
That's nice. Your in-laws. Oh wait. Oh, I guess that's not as nice, huh? Mm-hmm. Well, I'm here to help in any way you need me to. Everybody else decides to go their own way, so.
Oh well, that's nice. Wait a minute. What do you mean?
I mean, there's this little girl.
There's a whole other storyline happening.
This is a whole other plot.
Roll for meta knowledge.
Beautiful.
Well, the other night, I was helping out at the kitchen, and I was setting up the table and stuff, and this little girl came and helped me because I didn't really know how to set up the table and stuff because, you know, I'm not a part of this culture or anything, so they told us how to, she taught me how to set up the table, and she was just really, really nice. But, you know, she was a child, she was like a child, and we're definitely like a war area kind of thing, and so she probably shouldn't be here, but apparently she does magic too. She's pretty powerful, and so I think somebody's trying to take her, so I think they're gonna go and find her because she's kind of important, but I don't know who's the good guy and who's the bad guy like normal, so it's kind of complicated.
Is that normal for
We didn't
us?
know
That
last
we
time.
actually know who the good guys and the bad guys are?
No,
Yeah.
you're right.
Okay. So there's a child in this camp, and you don't know who to trust with her information.
Right, because she's just, she's probably the most innocent out of all of us.
All right. Well, typically, the easiest answer when questioning who to trust is no one. So, let's go find my husband's twin, so I can rip his head off his body, and we'll go from there.
That sounds accurate. I like your plan.
All right.
Let's
Jane
go.
and Tammy's gotten much more violent over these, course these adventures.
So the two of you, after determining exactly what and why your purpose is, you've got probably about a mile, 3/4 of a mile to walk before you get to the rear, and it passes pretty quick. But while it's passing, we'll let Monolith and Valandril decide what they'd like to do with their time.
I'd like to announce that
Stealth boys.
I found the word, and it was sojourn,
Yeah.
not
I knew it.
sojourn.
I knew it.
Sojourny?
So a
Sojourny Weaver?
Wow.
Sojourny Weaver.
From the Aliens movie?
What was the tongue twister?
I don't remember.
Sunday. What?
The soothsayer's
Soothsayer.
seance on a
So,
Sunday.
On a
A
Sunday
sultry
sojourn.
soothsayer seance on a sunny Sunday sojourn.
Wow.
I just made a new one.
Nice.
Damn.
Where is my check? Merriam-Webster, I'm looking at you.
Is that how that works?
I don't think so. It's worth a shot.
Well, you keep looking at Merriam-Webster until they give you what you want.
We gotta continue this whole adventure while I stare down the camera.
So, remindeth me. So, the girl's name's Bath. It was Barthinda? Who was the one that he was constantly... Barthinda?
But
Making sure that I got the names right.
No,
Bath,
Bath's the
Barth,
child.
Barthinda.
Barthinda's the
Yeah.
lady.
Bart, for short.
Bath, because Bath, you got, bathtub,
Bart.
that's the kid. And Barthinda.
Yeah.
So, these two are together. Stealth boys, back at it again.
Stealth boys, back at the stealthing.
So Valandril's going to kind of share a bit of the information. All right, you probably know a lot of this, but Jan and Tammy was talking with a Barthinda. We just need to go around the camp and start asking for anyone that's seen a Barthinda with a half-orc. The ratio is so off, somebody's had to have seen it.
I was there with her when we met Barthinda at one point, so like...
What wagon did you guys go to?
Well, this is a good question. They're all lined up differently now, so...
Any features you can remember whatsoever?
Any specific features that I can remember?
Yep. Specifically, I'm not going to make you roll because for you it was just a little while ago. And you remember that it was one of those wagons that was made of the benches that they use, and it was part of the cooking caravan.
It was one of those wagons where they use the benches. It's made out of the benches they use. It's part of the cooking caravan.
Oh,
So we gotta get
I
there.
drank near those the other night. I mean, I was looking for things. There's a whole story.
Okay, whatever, doesn't matter. Let's go. Let's go to the cooking caravan.
And that's where they make their beeline.
It doesn't take long for you to get there. There are about 4 or 5 of these wagons that are made out of the chairs that are in a cluster. There might be a few others in the column somewhere else, but you see this cluster, and the thing that Monolith... No, I don't know if you do. What's your passive perception?
Passive perception is 15.
Yeah, boy.
Damn, son.
You just notice everything.
Don't know why it's that high. Oh, probably because
It's because it's intelligent.
because I have
solo.
I have expertise in perception.
He notices everything, but understands none of it.
I see a tree over there, but how does it exist?
You don't have to roll to try and beat your passive perception.
Okay.
You notice 3 little flowers that are hanging from the back of the door of the one at the very rear.
Okay.
It's like a little decoration near the door handle.
So I stop, not stop, but like I put my hand on his chest and like slow our walking. And I'm like, all right, it's the one with the flowers.
One there in the back.
In the back, yes.
The most honorary position.
Correct. But listen,
Must be the best of the cooking wagons to be in last.
It's like the best cook.
we need to come up with a plan. Like, are we just pretending to just be chilling? Are we trying to get her away from the Heckentorns? What is our plan?
You're
here?
a rogue, right?
Correct. Is
I
that a
say-
thing? that we know? Is that meta?
It's kind of meta.
Do people
I've
in the
known
universe?
you well enough to
But
where-
like, do people in the universe? Are you talking in universe? In character, Valendra?
Okay.
Okay. Because I don't know. Like, are classes?
I feel like they would. You can address somebody as like.
Go ahead and take a break from everything and say whatever you want to say.
I was gonna ask, like, in D&D universe, do people in the universe understand a rogue, a barbarian, a fighter, a monk, a druid?
I think only to like a certain extent.
Right.
Like it's not like, ooh, are you a
Here,
are
let
you
me
a
switch up the
rogue?
terminology so
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
stop this debate.
Good
You're a
point.
street rat, right?
Exactly. I grew up on the streets, ate a lot of rats.
I say to make.
What? What's your
You
question?
delivered that really well.
Thank you.
Why don't we just try to? You're a familiar face. You can sneak in and try to reason this way. Nobody's seen us. Remember, there's like 3 houses we're working against. All
Yeah.
3 likely have a spy network. I guarantee 2 are watching us right
Yeah,
now.
they're probably very curious as to what we're up to. So you want me to sneak in?
We both can.
Okay.
You just need to be able to break locks if they're there. You got
Oh.
tools?
I do, and I have. No, I can't say that, but I
Just
do.
watching your face quizzically going, damn.
So I'm gonna do my thing so that we get so that we're quieter. All right.
You want to go in inconspicuously.
I'm gonna
Oh, pass without a trace.
pass without a trace.
Wow.
Jutsu.
Fantastic.
Stealth boys.
Stealth boy jutsu.
Look,
I'd say just based on that, it is now in effect.
Good. Let me click that.
Good hand movements.
Use. All right. So now, I guess I can't.
There are
see.
soldiers like 20 feet away that are even benefiting from how well you just did that. They're like suddenly like, why don't I make any noise?
Oh my goodness!
What's
I feel
even
so
happening?
Quiet.
guys.
Oh my goodness. So
So
okay.
silent.
So now that we got this little this extra spiritual bonus, let's go in real quiet. Now are we gonna try to get the girl specifically? Be like, hey, come
Well,
with
let's
us.
explain the situation first. Bathinda
Yeah.
is at least friendly in this case.
But Bathinda, Barthinda?
Yeah,
Bart?
Bathinda.
I'm gonna call her Bart so we know which bath
Bart.
we're talking about.
Okay.
Bath
So
is
Bart-
the bath.
Bath and Bart.
Correct. Bart is a Heckentorn.
Right, not all. Hey, here's the thing. They're pulling us. You ever read the book?
The Lusty Argonians.
Did you ever see season 1?
I've only read a handful of books.
Well, anyways, this is a
Yes.
This is a classic
Not well.
political thriller. They're putting us all against each other. We have one bit. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you right
Okay.
now. During my
Okay.
little adventure last night, I was hired by Heckentorn.
Oh.
But there's a small faction within the Heckentorns that are rebelling against the larger faction.
Okay.
They know that what's his name?
Valentorn.
Valentorn.
No.
Belturin?
Valturin.
Valendrill.
Valentine.
That Valturn Heckentorn is one of the many people trying to get a hold of this girl.
Right.
I have a contact. If we can get her to this contact, she remains safe, then we immediately run to Quinn and Gentani
In
and
case
finish
they-
this
okay.
once and for all.
All
Once
right.
she's secure, we know that that's one piece out of the equation.
Right. Okay. All right. So we're going in. We're talking to both of them, and we're gonna take the girl away.
Yeah, we're gonna drop her off at the one location
Yeah.
where there's gonna be guards and a lot of things that'll really help us get a little bit of peace of mind. So while Janet Tammy's all like, they're weak, we
Yeah.
can come in and save the
We
day.
come in and sneak our way to save the day.
Right. They'll
Yeah.
never see it. They'll be
Just
like, who saved us? And then
we
we'll be
should
like,
really.
"Ah,
There's only a limited time on this thing, so we
What?
should.
stop talking and do this?
Yeah.
Let's
okay.
do this.
Stealth?
Leroy!
I want a stealth roll. When we get back to us, if we're going to them.
Oh no, it's on you.
Okay. So I want to get up to the door and then stealth roll.
So, is the stealthiness as you open the door and enter the wagon, or what are you stealthing
I'm
through?
stealthing to
Door's
like.
not locked.
Let me check the door first. I'm gonna check the door. Is it locked? Can I open it?
It uses a small little not a handle that you turn, but a latch that you move, and it's available from both sides. The latch is closed, but it looks like you just need to move it to make the door open.
Okay, then I'm gonna stealth roll to get in, like to sneakily open the door and just like slide in,
Okay.
like a slippery little snake.
Like,
Sneaky snake. I'm a snake. I'm a slippery little snake.
Go for it.
All right. All right, that's 13 plus 18
Oh, yeah.
because of the plus 10.
You're 31.
Yes.
Wow.
That's one heck of a sneak.
As you sneak inside, both of the sleeping people that are in their cots do not stir nor wake up,
Okay.
and you're able to see essentially what you saw the previous night.
Okay.
It looks like Bethinda is sleeping on the right-hand side, and it
Yeah.
looks like Bethinda is also sleeping on the left-hand side.
Gotcha.
The Bethinda on the left-hand side has nothing that indicates she's any different from the other one.
Okay.
Because what you saw on her before is now placed on the back of the door.
So I'm kind of eyeing them both up, and I look at Valandril and I'm like,
Well, he hasn't rolled to come inside. He's
"Oh,
still-
you're not inside yet."
He's outside.
I mean,
And you get a plus 10 to stealth.
plus 10? Oh, yeah, 26.
Okay, stealth boys.
Stealth boys.
Comes in, and now it's.
Yeah.
You jump in there and you land on, if nothing else had happened, you would have landed with a heavy foot right on the wooden floor that would have reverberated. But the whole wagon kind of dipped down into a hole right about the time that was going to happen and cushioned the blow of you coming in. Some miraculous pass without a trace crap happening. So with that, you're now both in there and you're both looking down. Two seems like the
Yeah.
same person, one on each side of the aisle.
Okay.
So wake up. Just wake up. Her familiar face. What? Should I like cover her mouth so she doesn't scream and then be like, no, don't say anything, or should I? It's kind of creepy, but go for it. I mean, I just don't want to be like what? Like I don't want to just be like, hey,
Like a
wake up.
snake?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like a sneaky snake. I don't know. Like
A slithery sneaky snake.
stop it. We don't have time for alliteration.
Don't. Just pick one.
Okay, I'm gonna go left.
You should know what Bart looked like, right?
They both look. She is disguised as Bart. They look the same.
Nobody told me that.
Well, they are currently the same person.
Pick one.
I said left.
Okay.
I'm going to Bart 2. You go to Bart 1.
This is just confusing.
Now, make sure to either cover her mouth so she doesn't scream, or look really friendly. You know what? Wait until
Rock. How can you manage that?
wait until I get over there. I'm gonna wake them both up. They don't know you.
That's what I said at the beginning.
Well, maybe say it differently. Okay?
That's how I said it.
Everybody listens differently.
Marla, just go. Just go. I'm
put-
fed up with you.
The pass without a trace is protecting you guys from so much.
So I go up, and I just like quietly put my hand over left Barthenda's mouth and do this.
As soon as hand touches face, believe it or not, she wakes up and is terrified because it seems like somebody is putting a hand over her mouth. And she goes, "Whoa! Oh my God! What are you?" Oh, okay.
It's okay.
Personal space, like
Sorry. I really didn't want you to alert anybody. This is a stealth mission.
okay. Well, you're doing great.
Oh,
I
shit,
mean, there's
you got it,
nobody
you got
like.
it. Oh, stop.
It's
stop.
just the
You
two
have
of
to-
us in
no.
here.
Oh my God.
Focus!
People are watching us.
Where are they?
I don't know. They could be underneath the carriage for all I know. I gotta go wake up the other bartender, whichever one you are.
She, nope,
Don't.
nope. She needs her sleep. That little girl had.
So that's a little girl. And you're bartender. You look the same.
Yes.
Okay. Are you lying to me?
Can Bellinger walk up at this point?
Oh, then roll for insight.
Okay, I'm not good at. Well, I'm
On the left.
a 17.
Yeah, it's definitely the old lady you're talking
Okay.
to. The older lady. with-
Okay, well, listen. We need to get her out of here.
No.
I talked to a soothsayer.
Who's this?
This is my buddy Valandril, good guy.
How you doing?
Well, I'm a little uncomfortable since it's my job to protect this girl and
Right.
keep her identity a secret, and now strangers are coming to take her.
Strangers, You still kind of okay.
What's happening here?
Listen, okay. I gave up my only platinum piece to a soothsayer, and she told me that. What?
No, please keep convincing me.
I talked to a soothsayer, the one that I saw the king go to. So I'm pretty sure she's legit. So she said that this girl is very special and we must keep her protected at all costs.
Agreed.
And you are a Heckentorn.
Agreed.
And the Heckentorns and the Brickards both kind of want a piece of her.
Long may he reign.
Let's not. I don't care about any of them. They're
He's
all-
the third party in this.
whatever. They all want a piece of her, and there are parties within the Heckentorns much more sinister than you may believe. Specifically, Vinny von.
Valandril.
Valturin.
Valturin.
It's
Him-
my family. I obviously know Valturin.
Did you know that him and a Brickard plotted to kill the king?
Why do you think I'm protecting the girl?
This is. Listen.
Yeah. Okay. You let him talk.
Right now, there's many other Heckentorn like you. Sorry, made myself laugh. There's only one son of a bitch that I know that is pretty decent with all this magic stuff. Kinda took a vial of my blood at one point. He's backing these people and he's making sure that while all these different Heckentorns and Breakards and even the king himself are trying to make their moves, she's as safe as possible because, okay, let's just be frank, we're kind of the reason that whole thing in the north started.
Yeah, we might have been the cause of that storm.
And
Specific-
as
one
much
of
as
our
I
party
hate this
members,
guy,
not
he's
me.
pretty big about preventing apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
And it is at his best magical guess that this girl can be at the center if one of the three families that are more evilly aligned get a hold of her.
Yeah, no, her magics could increase the power of this storm or make a whole new storm.
We're not
Like,
Heckentorns, we're not Breakards, we're not whatever King
I
Jewel's
don't-
last name was.
I don't even have a last name. It's just Monolith.
Really?
Yeah.
That's sad.
Well, I mean, I'm a street rat. My mother was a plainer being and my father was whatever.
And here's the thing. If you trust Janet Tammy Woodspin, you should be able to trust us, because even though she trusts practically everybody, we've been with her since day one.
Yeah, no. If you trust her, it's like a transitive property of trust. Like, if you trust her, then you trust us.
Well, I understand the transitive property. Thank you.
I did.
Don't be condescending.
I wasn't being
Mama.
condescending. I was just sorry. I didn't understand.
We're
it.
rambling because there's a lot of pressure right now to make sure this girl is 100%, without a shadow of a doubt, safe.
Yeah.
It's as if you misunderstand the situation.
Okay.
I know my family is evil. I am not part of that.
Okay.
No,
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
that.
I am helping hide her from my family,
Correct.
Yes.
and I'm unsure why you think it'd be okay for you to take her away from me when only a few people know of her existence.
You can come with. We're not taking her away from you. We're not saying that.
Where are you taking her?
That's
There-
a good question.
Yeah.
Where are we taking her?
One of the I thought I saw a cat coming. I'm so sorry. One of the caravans near the front has a small little faction personally hired by Sebastian. Sellswords that have had their hands greased enough to where Heckentorns, Brickards, they're not going to be able to outbid. I would rather trust the amount of money a sellsword's being paid over somebody saying, hey, I'm here to do a good thing for you guys.
Yeah, there are lots of spies. From what we've been told from people that have tried to kidnap us, they're pretty much always watching.
And for people that haven't tried to kidnap us.
Correct. So you're going to need more protection than just a disguise and one person in a caravan.
We were able to find you, and frankly, I was almost able to find you earlier because Janet Tammy went around asking for a little girl, so people know that something's not right here.
Well, that'll be Beth's fault. She dropped her costume, dropped her disguise. I didn't even notice for 5 minutes. I'm so used to seeing her in her regular form, but certainly not out here in the middle of the column.
Right.
I want to believe what you're saying because I know that she's in more danger now that she's been revealed, but you must understand I've just met you.
I totally get that.
We
But,
fully 100%.
He starts patting himself down to see if he can give her anything.
Sebastian is friends with Jules?
Yeah.
Friends.
Sebastian he stopped the storm. It's because of him that the storm didn't extend to the size of a continent.
And he provided this sellsword army you're telling me about?
These will sell swords.
Roll for persuasion. You each get to roll and take the higher because it's like advantage because of how badly Barthinda wants to believe.
Yeah. What'd you get? Is that a nat?
Dirty 20.
A dirty 20. Good. Because my persuasion's alright, but I don't know if I'll get that. Dirty 23.
Dude. Stealth boys.
Stealth boys.
She
I was about to lie to her, so this is
spends about 45 seconds, and I would like you to contemplate how long 45 seconds is
Especially when like the fate of the universe is at, yeah.
And when we only have an hour of pass without a trace.
and she lets that time pass, and you can see the inner calculations and the inner turmoil and the what she wants to believe and what she can believe, and then some tumbler inside her inner locking mechanism unlocks.
I went to the Batman vehicle.
The tumbler.
Yeah, the thing that was the Batmobile.
It's better
Just
than
like
the
some tumbler went through her mind. I'm so sorry. Please continue.
better than the blogging platform, I guess. The-
Yeah. Way better. Blogging platform.
And,
Lame.
and she started a vegan blog. That's more WordPress.
Gotcha.
I speak from experience.
Oh.
It finally processes, and her final internal decision is to let you take the girl. And so she reaches over and gently wakes up Bath, and she says, "Bath, dear, Bath, it's the nice man from last night and his friend, and they're going to take you to some people that can protect you, but I'm going to need you to change again. I'm going to need you to change so that you don't look like me."
At that point, Valandril, he's had his cloak. Can I unpin it? Here. Additional.
Okay. Bath, while she's looking around at you and taking all this in, looks up at the person who flourishes with the cloak, takes it from you and puts it on, and then you see her close her eyes for a minute, and when she opens her eyes, her entire appearance looks like you. It didn't wash over her like a waterfall. It just appeared.
Brother.
And so now you're standing next to somebody that looks exactly like you. And the only odd thing is that when she speaks, she says in a higher pitched voice with the Valandril body, "Okay, let's go."
Oh,
Okay, so
no one else freaked out about this? This is kind of cool.
you should sneak away to the other guys. Because we can't have two of you.
We could. Nobody knows who I am. They just know that I kind of stabbed somebody.
The spies know who you are. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
If the spies see you walking with you, they're gonna follow us.
Here's the thing. All we have to do is make it a short distance.
No, listen. You have gotta go. You've gotta go to them, catch up with them. I'll catch up. I'm gonna deliver her as you.
They need to be able to... There are things I know.
Well, tell them to
that'll
me.
get that'll get me through the door. Her voice doesn't sound like mine.
That's true.
That's a big problem.
Well, don't talk.
Right now, I'm the only one they're able to trust because they've seen you guys hanging around everyone else.
Okay,
I
how do
hate it as much as you do,
Okay.
and I'd love to take your plan.
But okay. Can you look like anybody else aside from the three of us in this room?
Oh, I can do anything.
Anything?
What do you want me to look like?
Can you just look like
She looks like you.
in between looking back? I'm like, can you?
She imitates your
Oh.
She's clearly mocking you.
Yeah. Could you look
Could you look?
like a regular dwarf? Just like just run of the mill, nothing special. Not that like I'm
What
insulting
about one of
anybody.
the other Barthendas? There's like 10 of them.
She
The one
think-
with the bad foot.
She thinks about it for a minute, and she listens to your request. Chooses not to go with it apparently, because the next moment you look at her, she looks like Jules, the People's King.
Okay, all right.
We got no time for this.
No, you can't walk around as the king.
She has a cloak.
You do what I say.
No,
I'm the
stop,
king.
stop, please. Just a guard that you've seen, maybe a guard you're friends with.
Oh.
It doesn't take long for her to just choose one of the nameless, faceless guards that you would see everywhere.
Perfect. That is fantastic. Could not pick you from a crowd, and you have a cloak.
Right?
Exactly what we need. Now, follow us and
let's go.
stay low. And can they roll stealth checks? Since I'm giving
Well,
off
at this
stealth.
point, I don't think we need stealth because she's like amply disguised. We just need to
Right.
get the hell where we need to go.
I would roll any of that behind the screen anyway, and if she ever rolled in a way that made it affect somebody noticing her, then that noticing would all be happening. You would find out when you found out. You wouldn't
Yeah.
have a way of knowing if it's even working.
Okay. So I guess we just walk normal.
Yeah, nonchalantly.
So just, you know,
Casual.
so just walk like, you know, like we're talking. You know, get to know Valendrill. Just, you know, chat him up, and when we get to where we're going, we'll get there. But don't overact the normalcy.
Want to hear about the time he got hogtied?
I did get hogtied. I'll tell you all about getting hogtied on the way there. How about that?
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
And keep your voice down, because your appearance kind of detracts from that.
Okay.
Close enough. Let's go.
Uh,
What was that noise?
all of you are out of
It's
the
like
back
a
window.
travel. Go through a door.
All three of you make it out the door. As you look back, as the last one at the door, as Bath passes you in her disguise, you look up and you close the door and you see Barthinda looking down at you, and she says, "Please be careful."
I said, "Oh, trust me, I will." And I grab one of the flowers off the door and give it to Bath. And like, put this under your cloak just to help keep you distracted.
Okay. And then the door closes, and Barthinda, you probably noticed the tears in her eyes. The door closes, and Bath has the flower she tucks under her cloak, and the three of you begin walking. You're walking towards the front of the caravan?
Yeah.
Towards wherever he's telling me to go.
Okay.
And on the way there, I tell her about how I got hogtied.
She's
I'm not taking rear guard because I'm not that honorable.
She's a wrapped audience, and it looks like you're talking to one of the guards and giving him a report or some kind of an informational dump as the two of you walk. So she's a wrapped audience, and you guys look very normal.
Yeah.
Valendrill's taking the lead, and he's striding along
Roll for
slightly
normal.
faster than the rest of you. But it doesn't take long for you to get up near the front, where there are a series of the larger wagons. There's the royal wagon, the one that you guys first entered, the very first one. And then there's also a few of the other smaller size ones that are around there. They're traveling in a single line right now, and that's probably because in this area there are a few higher ridges, and the columns having to squeeze together before it's able to spread back out to its normal width.
That's really cool.
Yes.
Just throwing that out there.
Thank you. So here we are at the front. What would you like to do?
So I'm still guiding them exactly where Valendrill knows they need to go.
Yes. If Valendrill is going to the...
He's going to the right caravan.
Okay.
Yeah.
You approach that caravan and knock on the door, and a guard that looks exactly like Bath opens the door and looks down at you and gets a very quizzical look on their face, and he says, "Dugan?"
Oh
You don't know that.
Emma, don't worry about it. We need to get in.
What? Who the hell are you?
Oh my god, you have to talk.
I always have to do the talking.
Well, you told me you had to do the talking.
And you didn't listen.
Do the talking. Do the talking.
What? Dugan, what are they doing?
Look, all you need to know and report to the right person is, I've brought the girl.
He does a gasp. Thank you, Junie B. Jones.
Hey, gas!
And opens the door and gives room for you guys to pass through. I believe that Valandril was at the front of the line, and then Bathinda comes up next, followed by Monolith.
Yeah.
And with the three of you in the cart, in the wagon, the door closes. The guard who let you in closes the wagon. And you're in what looks like somebody's very messy study. There are piles of paper. There are barrels that have candles burning on them and notes written on parchment here and there. There is a fireplace near one of the corners, and next to that fireplace is an old man who looks like an older version of the person that had tea with you in that wagon where the dwarves seem to have tried to attack you.
Oh boy.
This much older version looks up at the three of you and says, Valandril, it looks like you brought a friend, and is this Durin?
This is what you wanted.
Bath, you can take off the disguise. You can be Bath.
Bath becomes Bath, who is a very small dwarvish girl with giant eyes and braids that go on either side of her hair. She's like the Pippi Longstocking of the dwarven children.
I loved Pippi Longstocking as a kid.
And she says, "Oh, is this the place where I'll be safe?"
Oh, I thought you were gonna roleplay with yourself.
Yes, my dear, you'll be safe here. Come and sit next to your uncle.
I don't like that.
Just a term of endearment, probably. We know nothing about dwarf customs. Let's be real.
So, are you actually her uncle?
Well, in the New Kingdom, she'll call me uncle. We don't have any family ties, but this special young lady is somebody that is going to be an honorary member of the Heckentorn family.
Did you? Did you?
At this point, the guards come, and there are two that you hadn't seen that were hiding in the shadows, and the one that answered the door. They walk up and they grab Bath by the arms. One of them, each one grabs an arm, and the girl screams out and goes, "What? No! What are you doing?" And she gets dragged all the way over to the front door, and Frances Heckentorn says, "You know where she needs to be. Get her there immediately. The sooner the better."
What? Who said that?
The old man, whose name is Francis Heckentorn,
Who's the head of the family?
drags her from the wagon, and she disappears out of sight. And now there are you and a guard standing in the room,
Just the
and Francis, who's seated.
And Francis.
And
Okay.
Francis says, "Well, I will always honor an agreement. And as soon as the transition is done, you can sign your document, and I will honor it."
Well, all I gotta say is I need to go stop another half-elf who is gonna try to rip off the head of the third signature on that document.
Do you mean our future president?
Yeah, future king?
Yeah, we're going to need to make sure that the king is safe.
Yeah, I would mobilize anything you got.
Right.
This is one pissed off and sober half-elf.
Okay.
Quinn Breaker.
And is your friend in league with you, or do we need to put him somewhere?
You see the shocked expression on his face? What do you think?
I'm down.
The guard-
Are we getting money out of this?
The guard reaches over and grabs you by the arm.
Hold on a
and we'll
second.
just
Ho,
do
ho,
a-
ho.
I was
Oh.
not told about this.
Monolith?
Correct.
since I kind of hold the power right now, I'm going to be 100% front with you.
Yes.
I'm getting a lot of money out of this.
Okay.
You can get a lot of money too.
Yeah.
We go together with a small little battalion of Heckatorns.
Small little battalion. Okay.
Stop Quinn and Janet Tammy. We'll make
Stop
sure
them.
no harm comes to them.
Right.
But if we can get the right people in power, you and I will be set for life.
That's pretty nice.
And at this moment,
Do I
he's
have
going to
to-
pull out the contract and hand it to Monolith to show proof.
Yes. There's so much things happening. Yes.
All right, interesting. Do I need to shake hands with anybody, or should I as a formality?
We don't have any problem with you if Sir Valandrill doesn't have any problems with you.
I would say he's motivated by money, so if we give him enough, I've seen him literally drool over a piece of platinum.
I passed out when I saw a diamond.
So
He doesn't even know that Janet Tammy has another couple diamonds on her we kept hidden this whole time.
I feel a little betrayed right now. But I
so with enough money, you're willing to turn on your friends? That's all I need to hear.
absolutely. And then I swing.
You
I
what?
shake his hand and pull out my sword and swing at him.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Roll for attack.
Yes. Plot thickening.
Roll to attack.
Yeah, for sure. And hold on, I need to do a thing. Don't tell me anything about your rolls. In fact, hold
Okay.
on, hold on.
Monolith is furious, but he had to play the game.
Remember what I told you earlier?
What was that?
Betrayal!
Yeah. That really threw me for a loop when he was like, "Come sit next to your uncle." I was immediately like, "Oh, this is bad. We're done. Like we got into the wrong cabin." And then I looked at Ozzy and he was like, I was like, "Oh no."
You swing at the frail old man and roll for attack.
Fucking hell. I got an 8 for swinging.
That misses, and that ends your surprise round. Now everybody that's in the room is going to roll for initiative, and that would include Valandrill. And did people just come home?
No.
Oh, shoot.
Do I roll for
15, though.
15.
Jeez. That wasn't a roll. That wasn't a roll. I didn't roll. I'm
Okay.
rolling. God damn it. 10. I should have stuck with that accidental roll. It was way better. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Well, don't worry. Francis and the guard rolled worse than all of you. Valandrill, your next act. Or your first act in this new round.
So very clearly, Hattie. Very clearly, I see that he's about to go in for a shank, right?
You watch him swing and miss. If
All
he
right.
wasn't so close...
And I shout bastard.
Yep. And if he wasn't so close, he probably would have had an easier shot with it in that he just happened to miss in that shot.
Sorry, Monolith. I'm going to loose an arrow on him.
Roll for a loose.
Oh, yeah, that ain't hidden. It's a 2 plus whatever. Like, your AC's
Correct.
higher than that.
And you're in close quarters. I didn't make you roll with disadvantage if you're within 5 feet with a ranged weapon.
Oh, shit. Hold on. No. With that, can I backtrack or should I live with my mistake?
Live with your mistakes.
Please live with your
Live
mistake.
with them.
Because I didn't realize we'd be close quarters at this point.
You're in a you're closed
walked
in the
into a
wagon
cabin.
that looks like a study together.
Yeah, I would have thought at least, like, it's 5 yards like that.
I wasn't making you roll with disadvantage because it's kind of hairy. I was just letting that roll stand on its own without making you roll for a worse roll.
Okay.
Are you saying that you would rather use your sword?
Yeah, actually. Like, if Valandrill's aware that's the situation, we're gonna be busting out a sword. Which I totally accidentally got rid of. Yeah, I don't have it anymore. I left it in the tent, remember?
Yeah, it's holding the tent closed.
Yeah, so I have to stick with the bow.
Okay. Then that would be a clean miss, and that takes it to Monolith with your 10.
You are brother, Monolith. I loved you.
I'm making sure that
You
I have
were a brother to
everything in
me.
order.
He was supposed to bring balance to pod racing.
Okay. Am I still gripping his hand from the handshake?
Yeah.
Okay. Does that count as like a grapple or what is that?
No, it's just flavor.
Just flavor. Gotcha. I like it. I noticed an arrow go by, I'm guessing, like it misses.
Sure. It definitely.
So-
You heard. Sorry, Monolith. Whoosh.
So I pull out
Boing.
my other sword, and I say behind my shoulder, "Once I'm done with this old man, I'm coming for you." And then I roll both my swords. So that now I have an extra attack because clearly I suck.
Okay. Roll for attack.
Okay, 12.
That one hits. He is unarmored.
24.
Points
Dirty.
of damage.
No.
Oh,
that's,
okay.
That's just me rolling the hit with both swords.
Both of them hit.
Okay.
I thought you were doing damage in between.
No. And then
What kind of sword is that? A Vorpal? Vorpal flaming poison infused?
yes. I'm just making sure that I'm doing everything correctly. I don't want to miss a point of damage. I certainly don't get sneak attack because I don't have another enemy of the target within 5 feet. Is the girl still in the room?
No, she was dragged out.
God damn. She technically be an enemy.
The guard is over near Valandril. Francis has nobody near them.
Okay.
That's it.
So I just get 2d6 plus 4 plus 4.
Okay.
I could really do with those more d6. Okay, 2 plus 4, 6. And 4 plus 4, 8. So 10. 10 damage.
Okay. With both swords, a total of 10.
Both swords, total 10.
He gets hit hard. The blades dig into a body that probably hasn't seen battle or even hard labor in a long time. He lets out the kind of grunt. It just lets you know you hit home pretty hard.
Yeah.
When you take away a third of somebody's life force in a whack,
Right.
they deflate quickly. And so you
Yeah.
go whack and deliver that injury. Do you have anything left you'd like to do during this turn?
I have movement, right?
Mhm.
Just attacked. I'm gonna move. What's the guard like? What kind of like full body armor or like?
Yeah, he's got what looks like a breast and chest plate. He's got a cloak that comes out from under it that goes to the back, and he's wearing what looks like some kind of a covering for the legs and torso.
Then I'm gonna head towards him. Just kind of.
So if we were looking at this, you're in a wagon. You're over in the corner by an old man who you just hit.
Yeah.
You're moving over towards the Valandril and the guard that are maybe 10, 15 feet away. And when you do that, you're going to be leaving the range of the old man.
Okay.
And so he'll get an attack of opportunity on you.
Okay.
So he's going to take that.
Oh, wait, he gets attack of opportunity if I walk up to him?
You're leaving him. You were just
Oh,
standing
leaving the
there
old
next
man?
to him. Yeah.
Actually, hold on. I have cunning action. I can take a bonus action to disengage.
Okay, you've done that.
Okay.
And you've avoided that, and
Whatever that was going to be.
I'm legitimately rooting for you.
Oh, fuck you.
You've used your movement to make it over into the range of the other two enemies that you have in this wagon currently. Go ahead.
Can I make just a question? I don't know if I'm allowed to ask this, but are there any like candles in this room, or is it just sunlight?
I know I would describe that to you and you would have seen that as you came in and were even standing about. I described there's a barrel that has a few candles burning on it that has
Okay.
some parchment notes on it.
Right.
And you're standing next to the old man next to a fireplace that has a fire burning in it.
You there.
And then there are also a few torches here and there that are lighting up in sconces along the wall. But that's mostly along that wall where the opening is.
Okay. Understood.
Okay. I would say that takes us first to
God.
Francis. And he is going to
You're doing
pull...
great.
Thanks.
He's going to pull a dagger out of a hidden place in where he's seated, and he's going to throw it at the only enemy in the room. And he's going to roll a a 19.
That hits.
That hits. And then the...
How
Let's take a
much
quick
damage?
look at a
1d4,
thing.
hopefully. Is it a dagger?
Versus like a non-dagger.
Well, like versus like a dagger plus 7 or something like.
We won't know for just a second.
Okay.
Because
Until you get stabbed with it, you won't know.
Oh.
Yeah.
So didn't I get stabbed with it?
It just happened.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you've been stabbed.
How much damage?
It's a D4 plus 2. 4 points of damage.
I can hold my-
And the dagger is sticking out of your back. It's in the meaty part of your arm and shoulder right here.
Okay.
And the guard who's right in front of you gets the very next attack.
Okay.
And so he's going to pull out a short sword and he's going to swing down at you.
Is he taller than me?
No,
Oh, down,
but
just like-
the blade is going to be coming
Gotcha.
first up and then down.
Gotcha. I was like, that's a tall dwarf. He's taller than 5'10".
He rolled a literal actual 1. And so as he pulls the sword out and he swings back, it sticks into the wall behind him. And he pulls his hand forward and he's made himself unarmed.
I
Valandril, that brings it to you.
same thing. Like combat's now. I figure
He's
since
now
he's
within-
engaged with somebody else, I can move out of the way without attack of opportunity. Or was I ever in range for such a thing?
You are right now in range. He's standing in the square right in front of you and the guard who are square by square.
'Cause I'll just tell you what I want. I want to move away so Bo doesn't have any more disadvantage and start firing some arrows.
Okay, you can do that.
Yeah.
You're backing into the opposite corner now. It's the one
okay.
catty corner to the fireplace.
Okay. This is the wagon, like a rectangle.
Mhm.
This is the old man. This is the fireplace that he's now at.
Where's the old man? Where'd you put him?
Did you say here?
Yeah, he's there. And no, now Valandril's in the opposite corner.
This corner.
The opposite caddy corner.
This corner.
Caddy corner.
This corner.
You got it.
Gotcha. And I'm here?
No, you and the guard are now kind of in the middle.
Here. Here.
Yeah, because he just backed away from you.
Okay. Okay.
Theater of the mind, everybody. We skipping the map.
With how
See
tiny
see how
this
beautiful?
is, it makes it more confusing almost.
Yeah, I regret not having the map out, but here we go.
So 26, by the way.
That's a hit.
Yeah,
Yes, definitely. By at least
11.
damage?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. All right. So
It's on you.
that hurt. He's disarmed. Where's the door? If I'm in the middle.
5 feet away from you. Right there. Yes.
Okay. As my action, I'm going to pull out a grenade and chuck it in the fireplace.
Done. Let's, what are you going to do after that, just before we
Just-
put that in motion?
Use all my move action to just sprint out the door.
Okay,
Like if
and
I have
o-
to shoulder charge it or
Opening a
open it
door
up.
will not take any of your, that's all
good.
part of it. So, hold on, because I need to figure out what this fireplace's armor class is. Really, it's the DC of you throwing it in. We're going to do an athletics roll.
athletics.
Yeah.
Athletics.
Yeah, I know.
Alright.
I know. We're doing it because I'm feeling it.
All right, guys. This is only one of the most important rolls I've ever made. I can't do it. I can't
Roll it.
bring
All right,
myself
then
up.
hold on
Roll
just
it,
a second.
girl.
We're gonna go on break, and when we get back,
Oh!
Grant's gonna roll that dice, and we'll find out exactly what's gonna happen. Thanks for sticking around. We're gonna go have some fried chicken.
Die.
This is so stressful.
I love
If
it.
I miss this, I might be dead.
Welcome back, everybody. If you're still with us, then you know that we left in the middle of a very important roll, and we left partially because everybody loves a little suspense, but mostly because we all wanted to eat really badly. And now that we've eaten, I can say that the weekend has officially begun because there's fried chicken in us. And Hawaiian rolls, who will someday sponsor us. Because, I mean, it's got rolls in the name, right?
Absolutely.
Hawaiian rolls.
Roll.
Maybe every time we get a one, they can donate money to a charity for us. I don't know. We'll work it out. Maybe we can get some Hawaiian shirts out of it. In the meantime, we'll just have to keep purchasing their product and pretending that they're sponsoring us. Oh yeah, just hide the logo. We can talk about them, but I don't.
It can be any kind of sweet roll. It doesn't necessarily have to be Hawaiian.
That's true. Pillsbury could hook us up with their cinnamon rolls.
It's just a certain type of a dinner roll.
It's an island roll.
I got to tell you though, as soon as we get sponsored by somebody like that, I feel like we'd sell out and start making stories about how awesome certain rolls are. And
I mean,
and unless there's a lot of money on the line, like just a little, really, it wouldn't take much. We're not going to do that. We have integrity until you
Correct.
contact us at campfirequest@gmail.com.
Totally.
We could really use a Coke Zero sponsorship.
Last we left, there was a die rolling, and it was going to determine exactly where a certain explosive device ends up. Before that die roll gets thrown, how are Quinn and Janet Tammy doing? You guys have covered like another quarter mile. You're trucking along.
I hate this.
You've
I
reached
hate you.
you've reached beyond the halfway point, and in the distance you can see the really tall flags that indicate the end of the caravan or the end of the column. As you see that in the distance, you just continue to walk. Everybody else is where they should be. Everybody's marching in formation. You see nobody like you walking against the stream.
Okay.
You still just having your conversations and enjoying your company?
I am thoroughly enjoying my own imagination about ripping Brendine's head off with my own two hands. But not really paying attention to the fact that I'm walking beside a giant half orc. Just like every once in a while, if she reminds me that she's there, I'm like, yes.
She's just kind of talking aimlessly about everything and anything, and she's also mindlessly making a flower craft. Druid crafting flowers. And
She didn't know who was behind the whole. She doesn't know that. Never mind. Does she tell me that the girl is with the? Do you tell me that the girl is with the Heckentorns?
I would probably tell you that the woman who was watching her was a Heckentorn, and that's it.
Okay. Okay.
Because I told you everything that I know.
Okay. You did not know anything about them going off to find the girl and like bring her to safety, though.
I did know that because they told me that.
Okay.
So I told you that.
But they didn't tell you where they were bringing her.
Right. They were just like,
Bye. we're going.
right.
Okay. Well, I have bigger fish to fry, so we're gonna go track down my brother-in-law.
Yeah, and I could even imagine that you don't give a second thought to what Monolith and Valandril are doing. You are so entirely focused on the fact that there is somebody shaped exactly like Bryce, and you know exactly how big around that neck is and how your hands fit around it. And you are playing out over and over and over what exactly you're going to do when you locate this person. Because last you saw him, he led you out of the warmth of the wagon and the communal space that your in-laws had invited you into, lovingly, and then invited you out for a walk, which then turned into him using his forces to abduct you. You, through what you suspect from the bump on the back of your head, you got knocked unconscious by physical means and woke up in that wagon tied, the one that you were originally, eventually released from with Valandril's help. All that being said, yep, make sure to thank him. All that being said, you are continuing to walk towards the rear, and your imagination is going wild. And only occasionally does Janet Tammy's droning voice break in, and you hear something about her mother, or a chicken, or maybe the hay.
Or chicken.
but she's just got a continuous stream of consciousness, and behind her, a continuous stream of flower petals as she makes and tears and makes and tears. Is that tearing as you go?
Flower crown.
Oh, so you're making them and you're making something with it. You're weaving a flower crown.
That is, and
Okay.
is probably at this point a very large and impressive flower crown.
She keeps making several, and she has like 5 on her arm so far.
Aw. If I wasn't so like intensely focused, I would be very impressed.
You may need to use those at one point, so just for the sake of knowing, how about if you... Only because I know how bad Monolith wants to roll. Roll a performance check on how well you made flower crowns.
Yes. Keep him from rolling.
Are you just doing this to taunt me?
Yeah, I
Is that
am
what you
now. I wasn't before. Really, you might want these crowns to be in really good shape. We need to
That
know.
was cocked.
Okay.
That's not.
Wait, you need advantage though.
What is
Because
that?
like silent camaraderie and encouragement, you need to roll with advantage.
I would say, if anything, your nerves are making it so that we would just cancel that out.
I
Yeah.
got a 6.
A 6? Okay. That trail of flowers that I mentioned behind you is actually there, and of the 5
She's getting
crowns,
frustrated as she's going. She's like, I used to know how to do this.
I would say that you've got 3 that are fully formed and 2 that are dropping flowers as they dangle from your arms. Probably not noticed by you. But that does mean that you have some fully formed crowns. All right, now let's roll for how many birds are in the sky. Oh, you know what? Let's go back to the wagon, shall we?
15 seconds of bats in the polar north.
15 whole seconds of bats, and we
Whole
don't know where they
seconds.
came from.
Guys, I got to tell you,
Five. That's 15 seconds of bats.
it's a ridiculous amount of bats.
Grant, don't roll until we're ready for you. If you prematurely roll, it's gonna go badly.
I'm gonna prematurely launch this across the table.
Can I add?
Unless it's advantage. I don't think it's gonna help.
Did you roll already?
No.
Okay, good. I'm going to say that there was a time in your life where the only food you had access to were apples. And as you would finish the apples that you stole from the salesman on the cart, you used to have to throw the core in a little grate so that you wouldn't get caught with it, as the law enforcement would occasionally come by and roll you looking for proof that you'd done something wrong.
Right.
You've been throwing apple cores in small grates for so long that I'm going to offer you a +2 to whatever you roll.
Nah, one. Nah, one. Nah, one.
On
Plus
top of whatever,
two,
on top
on
of whatever
top of-
else, just
On
roll
top
it.
of athletics.
Yep, do your athletics, do everything, and then add 2.
So what's the advantage?
A lot of the reason this is athletics is because of the way that you have to contort yourself when you're throwing something across a room like this. In my mind.
Okay. What are you saying? Stop saying things.
See?
I went and I got food and I drank water and I felt good. I was like, I'll just get in there and toss the die. Who cares? But now that I'm back in it,
Your character's life depends on this, Grant.
well, no, I'm running out the door regardless.
Your character's life depends on this, Grant.
I despise you. So,
Should we... Oh, never mind. I think
Wait a
we don't
minute.
have a dice cam set up. So.
we do. That dice cam is there.
Is it
Oh
on?
yeah, get him one of the big ones.
No, I'm rolling with my die.
Oh.
I'm rolling with my babies.
Oh.
They're going to treat me right, for I have cared for them in ways that, well, not really. I just kind of put them in the bag.
Dice cam. Dice cam.
I give them all my love and support.
Nah, one. Nah, one. Don't roll, Grant.
So everything added up, I get a +5 to this.
Yeah, but a nat one's still a nat one.
Exactly. +5 means nothing.
Ooh. Ooh.
You shut your mouth. Not in that one. That's a dirty 20.
Woo!
That's a dirty 20. Don't you clap at me.
So, a 14? A 14 would have popped it just inside the opening.
Okay, I rolled a 15. And then
A
+5.
dirty... No, just without... I mean, even with
yes.
modifiers, you've gone 16 over. And with that higher DC...
6 over.
Yep.
There's probably some math there.
with that higher DC, you managed to get it not only in the fireplace but lodged on top of the burning logs that are in there, and immediately you hear, and you see sparks flying up. And what are you doing as soon as that happens?
I'm running out the door.
Okay.
Is there any chance that I could like run out the door and hold it shut?
Wouldn't you get caught up in the explosion too, stupid?
Well, I either get exploded or I get shot by you. I'd rather go out on my own terms.
No, you've already used your movement. You took
Okay.
the time and the athleticism to throw the grenade.
So I'm just like,
We had time to eat and drink while all that was taking place.
Yeah.
A lot of time has passed. You managed to get out, and I would say that you can either move away from the wagon and get another 10 feet away from it, or you could stop right there at the outside. You just wouldn't. I mean, aside from leaning against it, that would just be placing yourself where you want to be
so
for
I've
next time.
come out of the cabin, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I've come out of the cabin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use that 10 feet to try to get around it. Wait. No. I don't want to, like, hide behind it because it's about to... The fire's over here, right? And I came out here?
The fire's back in the corner where you threw it, and you're coming out right here.
Right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm going to go out, and I'm going to go the opposite direction of the campfire, kind of like diagonaling out the door 10 feet.
Okay.
Because I want to be able to, like, move in between the carriages and hide so I don't get shot, but I also don't want to get caught in the explosion.
Yeah. Okay. Look. Stuff is happening.
There's a lot.
Things are going on.
You put that away! You put that away right now. It's going to explode. It's in a fire. It should explode quick. Like now.
Hey, dex saving.
That's true. You do need a dex saving throw of, I don't remember, 15?
Oh, that's it?
I don't know. I mean, it's not much. Yeah, no, DC 15 dexterity saving throw. So, yeah.
Okay.
And within 20 feet, so... Oh gosh, I might still be within that 20 feet.
You are not.
Okay, good.
The only people within that 20 feet are the people that are within that. If there was somebody on the outside, and the fireplace, the chimney on the outside of the building was near somebody, they could be impacted, but
Yeah.
it turns out there's nobody there. It's just the people inside. 1, 2, 3 of you. We're going to start with the Francis first. That is totally cocked. That hardly ever happens. That's a 14 and a... Okay, Francis misses.
He doesn't make the saving throw?
No, he's going to take full damage. And next is going to be the guard.
Okay.
He saves.
He does.
And you can roll your own dex.
Well,
Did you make it?
that's a 24.
So
Okay,
yes.
you dex out of the way and take half damage. 5d6. So go ahead and...
I'm going to find a program, because that's too many.
No
I got
way.
a lot of D6.
I have a Wizard of the Coast dice roller up.
Oh.
I can do that, or would you like me to do that? We could do the we could do the
Wait,
dice
so who's
cam.
taking damage right now? I'm confused.
Everybody's taking
Everybody's
some damage.
taking damage.
You're taking half.
We're taking half of 5.
Okay.
The
so
guard's
nice.
taking half.
Is that
Francis
3?
taking full.
What's half of 5d6?
Well, we won't
Whatever
know
the
till
number
you
is.
roll it and then add them. So you're gonna roll a
Oh,
number.
so
and then
I'm
we're gonna
rolling the
have it.
damage for everybody.
Yeah, let's do it this way.
Gotcha. That's fair.
That's
All right,
a lot of
dice cam.
Yeah.
Here's 5. Is that in the cam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
5d6, baby. Let's get me some good 6s. You know what I'm saying? At least. Shut up. Pooh. Lucky spit. Pooh. Oh, well, there's 1. It's a 2. The rest. Wow, they're all 2s. 2, 4, 6,
Yahtzee.
10, 11. I think that's 11. Is that what that is?
10 plus one more. Oh,
6, 10, 11.
is that the shape or is the shape 6 or 1
1.
on the extra life die? I've forgotten.
There's no
The
shape.
shape is 6.
Oh, what's facing up?
1.
Oh, okay.
There's no, so only 11. Half of 11 for 2 of them.
Okay. 5 damage for you, 5 damage for the
Well,
guard.
I mean, we could argue that half is 6.
they
it-
could,
it
but then
always
the,
rounds
26 saving roll,
It's
though.
the rules would then argue against it based on how they read.
Whatever. Whatever. It's not like I needed those to all be 6s.
Oh no.
Wow, that's barely a dent.
I'll destroy you. I'll stab you.
So can I, like, hunt him down now?
You just got exploded. Give it a second.
Can I hunt him down? Give chase towards the other two?
Please. Please come after me while I have something to be angry about.
That'd be great. Do I?
And you've calculated your hit point deduction?
Okay. Here's your die.
Okay. What would it be with the Wizards of the Coast?
Oh, if I had done Wizards of the Coast,
Uh-huh.
just 5d6, right?
Yep.
D6. 5d6. Roll. It would have been 11. What?
The same thing.
What?
Hey Alexa, what's 5d6? Oh, I should have said roll 5d6. Oh, thank you. Okay, good. Turns out it's 11.
That's funny. Dang. Oh, there's a good one. 24. That would have been great. 6, 5, 2, 5, 6. Would have been fantastic.
The sound of thunder. It erupts, and the noise is the second thing to hit you. The first, fragments of wood and stone, unless you were inside. And then those fragments of wood and stone you find now embedded in parts of your flesh that were exposed and a few that weren't. Took a lot of damage. Some of you were able to get out of the way of the blast and only suffer partial damage, but all of you have a ringing in your ear, those of you that were in the wagon. And when I say were in the wagon, I mean because the floor that was blown completely out has dropped you onto the icy ground, and the wagon has since rolled over you. And you and a lot of smoldering debris is sitting on the white, icy ground, and the wagon behind you is making an emergency stop, which is causing all of the entire column that heard the explosion and saw the aftermath come to a stop. And a few of the doors start to open, and a few various dwarves, some family members and some lowly Hundarians, approach the smoldering wreckage to find out exactly what's going on. I believe we're going to go to Valandril and leave that dwarf on the ground, that dwarven soldier.
Is he still within range?
He's on the other side of the wagon, that the part that hasn't been blown away.
Got
But
it.
since you're on the ground, you wouldn't see him, but he's been walking with the wagon that kept going while you've been stationary on the ground. I would have to have him tell me if you stopped or if you kept walking with the wagon.
I'm running.
Towards the front or back of the...
Which way are they? Do I know where they are?
I'm not sure
I know
if
they
you
went
would
to
know.
the Brickards, so I don't.
And
think
where
I
do
would.
the Brickards always take
I guess
up?
they would take up the back, but I don't know if I know that.
I think we said it earlier.
It's the way that we were going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the way. So I'm sprinting the opposite direction towards the Brickards because I need to get to them.
Okay. That's easily done, and your running hasn't stopped, but it does change the fact that instead of moving forward with the wagons and remaining hidden, you see him clearly as he's making a rapid retreat from you, moving away towards the back of the column.
Wouldn't I be running? I'm still running along the wagons. All right, still
Grant,
running along the wagons. Would I
accept
not be
fate.
behind the next wagon?
You also
I will literally die.
password.
I
Accept
will
your-
literally die. Can I roll stealth? I have passed that. He can see me. It doesn't matter.
Accept your fate.
I'm gonna.
Grant.
Column's moving this way.
Yeah.
There's a wagon here that got the hole blown out of it, so there's people sitting here. And instead of going forward with it, you've run behind some of these other wagons, and you're going in this direction.
Yeah.
Go through
He
the
has
side.
access to you till about here.
Yeah.
So right now, as the 6 seconds has passed, the explosion
I'm gonna
goes
die.
off. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, voice. As that 6
Can I
seconds
use a
pass,
free
and
action to drink a potion?
Oh my goodness!
Is it one of those potions that has the free action? A potion is an action, but we had some. Did you guys have the meta packs? The instant might have been a different game.
Not us.
It takes an action to drink that.
It does.
It's not even your turn.
I stole that and used it in another one.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Dope, right?
Right. I love that. Grant wishes he had one.
I'm telling you right now, I'm already dead. Like,
It-
unless he misses, or unless he rolls, like, really bad on damage.
He could miss.
I could miss.
Did you already roll?
No. I've been waiting for you.
I'm trying to make sure I don't die before you graduate. You're gonna graduate, and she's gonna graduate, and I'm gonna die. So there's only gonna be one person
You
left to
come
play.
back as a Minotaur. Think about it.
I don't want. He has to purchase a Minotaur. I'm stuck with Monolith.
This is a win-win.
This is a lose.
So, I have 6 seconds of a window, right?
Whatever.
Kind of.
In a day's
Like
confusion,
legally.
Valandril's gonna get up, get another arrow ready, and with the other dwarves all around him, kind of seeing what happened, he's gonna shout out, "The Ganassi tried to kill us!" and try to see if he can
damn
get them on the side while loosing an arrow.
Okay. So
Ganassi, whatever.
This is going
Pronounce
so
it
well.
right.
you
love
must be
it.
shooting from a seated position because you were on the ground and it would take you an action to
imagine
stand
him,
up.
Even if he was, on his stomach, on his back, he'd roll over and kind of be kneeling now, kind of in a sniper position almost, if that makes sense.
No, I understand, but with archery, it's a little not quite what you're talking about.
Oh no, I'm not talking like prone on the ground.
I get
You'd
it.
have to get up on one knee.
I'm just using words to make it seem like it's a little more hopeless. Instead of having you roll with disadvantage, I'm going to do what I did with Grant and have you subtract 2 from whatever your shot is. That's going to be better for you than rolling with disadvantage.
-2 damage or
No,
minus
not the
2
damage.
Your
-2
roll.
to
Yeah.
to
Your
hit.
attack
Yeah.
roll
Oh, there's a
now.
cat on the fence right now. Angus is way up there.
Our CEO is watching over us.
Puh! Bad luck. Puh!
Oh!
Is that a nat 20? Is that a nat 20?
So even with the -2,
What'd you get?
19.
Okay, well, that's just barely hitting.
19 plus 8, so that's 27 -2. That's a 25.
Yeah, that hits by quite a lot, actually.
That hits.
So you gotta roll some awful damage.
What's the number I'm looking to not get?
No,
10.
better than that. What is your damage for an arrow shot?
It is 1d8 plus 4.
Roll your d8.
So if you get, hold on. Let me do
I
some
have
math.
to get
Hold on.
a 6
4.
or higher.
You have to get a 6, which is very high odds.
I
Getting
have
a
to get a
6.
6, a 7, or an 8.
3 out of the 8 on 3 eighths is decent odds. Is that for good luck? Are you trying to get him to kill me? Puh!
Ooh, now I feel the stress.
I
Oh.
am invested in this being a really interesting campaign.
Let's just.
I'm invested
we're gonna
in
get
dying.
All that out there. so
Invested in
that's how-
dying.
Does that make me chaotic neutral?
3.
It makes
I'm
you
not
a
chaotic-
prick.
Oh,
Two.
well, we already knew that, but like.
Oh!
Did you get a
got
5?
saved by the hair of your chinny
Did you
chin
get a 5?
chin.
Well,
5.
for him, that's a lot, though. Like, you could say the skin of his teeth.
You can say the skin of my entire. You flayed
5
me.
plus 4, 9 damage.
So how does it work with health? Do I pass out at 0 or do I pass out at 1?
No, you pass
No,
on
at 1,
zero.
you're still
Yeah,
you're
you're
still
Still good to
active.
go?
You're
Jesus Christ.
You are now as human and fallible as any other regular unleveled citizen in this world that you would encounter. And you're running.
I need to ask though,
Can I-
just
can
to
I-
like really increase the anticipation. Did my little call out do anything? The little accusation before firing.
You won't know. You won't know for a minute.
Got
It
it.
takes a while for anything to get mobilized,
I am
much less in
just
the middle of an
ensuring
explosion
that
like that.
such an option was not looked over.
Oh,
and
no.
maybe a random stone causes 1 damage.
So, Genasi's not going to take that. He's not going to be like, oh yeah, he just shouted out to a bunch of people who are very susceptible to believing him that I'm the bad guy. So as I run, I retort. I retort to the comment about being the scoundrel with like, I don't know.
No, go ahead. Clear your good name.
I'm
Please, let's hear it.
as I run away with arrows in my back. And be like, he tried to kidnap me and kill the king! So I keep running. So,
Woo!
I'm just
All right.
kind of throwing that out
You're
there.
the
Like,
one running away from a blown up cart. Said
No,
Adam.
normally, I wouldn't have you roll anything once your action was used. But could you, Valandril, please roll for persuasion?
persuasion.
And
Persuasion, right?
that's the first one, and you're going to do the same thing with slightly different.
Oh shit!
Slightly
Overshot.
different.
But you saw that. You saw that. You saw that.
I didn't see shit.
Ah.
Sorry.
Roll.
For persuasion?
Yep.
We're talking persuasion.
This is a real basic, might not even
Real
mean
basic,
anything at all.
Might not mean anything. Persuasion. Gotcha. And it's spelled P-E-R. This is so goddamn stressful.
Did we get yours?
I'm waiting for him to roll so I can either break the good news or break the bad news.
Well, you guys are kind of yelling at two different groups of people because you're in different locations.
I just want to see what he gets.
Sure.
Okay. We're Gucci. What did you get?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Dude! Are we about to incite a civil war?
I think they just believe we're both idiots.
Who has the higher modifier?
Mine's +5.
Like, what was your
You have a
actual?
+5 to persuasion?
What do
Correct.
you have?
I have a freaking +1, which means I got the better roll.
Yeah,
but
that's
I'm
correct.
pretty positive it's by modifier.
I
not
took a
by-
proficiency in persuasion.
In this case, this wasn't against each other, so it wasn't apples versus apples. It was an apples versus oranges. And I would
Apple
just like you to
versus
kind of
pear.
picture how Monolith is running away. Arrow in the back is a good
Two.
reminder. Multiple arrows.
And a knife. I haven't taken the dagger out.
He's leaving with all these extra toys.
Yeah.
And as he's running, he's passing by a wagon that was not affected by the blast. The people that are hearing him yell are not the people that are hearing Valandril yell. Valandril is surrounded by a different group of people and a different set of smoldering items on the ground. So both of you have been very persuasive with your yells. And I would say at this point that based on just the geometry of running parallel to a long train of wagons, that you, Monolith, are now out of sight of Valandril, and you, Valandril, can no longer see Monolith.
Whenever I get out of sight, I want to roll for my stealth. Like whether I do that now or whenever we go back and forth. Whenever I do that.
The last thing that happened is you yelled, but we did roll for it, but you did a thing and a thing. Go ahead and roll for that.
Okay. And I still have...
Roll for stealth.
Has it been an hour since we
No,
grabbed the girl?
not
Okay.
even.
And you don't get it, because you're not close enough, and you're not my friend anymore. So I wouldn't even give it to you if I wanted. Okay. Stealth. 36.
Oh, okay. You disappear.
Okay.
You blend into a combination of wood and ice and leather, and now you're gone.
Gotcha.
What would you like to do in this state?
I'm just sneaking, like, underneath carriages, around carriages, as stealthily as humanly possible, while still maintaining some speed and urgency to get to them.
Okay.
I don't want anybody to see me. I don't want them to see me, him to see me, but I do want to get there.
Well, I'm going to say that at this point, based on the people that are attacking each other, we're out of combat. And that only means we're out of combat timing. That doesn't mean that we're out of people potentially trying to hurt each other.
Right.
So actions no longer are restricted,
Regular?
and you are
You thought it was regular?
free to take actions.
Good, good. Well, I'm heading towards them.
I mean, I'm heading towards them too. This is like the fugitive.
Oh!
So now it's
You're
a
my wife.
when you come around the corner, if you're headed to the back also, you don't see anybody close, but way in the distance on this flat little bit of ground, maybe they just at this point came around that little pinch in the road where the column had to squeeze to get through. You're just now seeing a couple walking way in the distance, and they seem to be headed towards the back of the column. I would say they're a half mile away from you. And you're running in that direction?
Yeah, run towards the back.
I'm gonna drink a greater health potion.
All right, you're probably under one of the wagons somewhere and out of sight of anybody. So go ahead and roll your D4 and add everything
Even
that
Snake
you...
was able to eat rations while he prone crawled.
Look at that. I'm out of potions of greater healing. On the regular potions.
Sorry about that.
What is it? Potion of greater healing is 4d4 plus 4. And that's okay, 4d4 plus 4. Reset everything. Oh, wait.
All he gets is ones across the board.
I didn't, not entirely. I got a 12.
Okay.
That's how many hit points you get back?
That's how many points I get back.
Okay.
Hey, that's good.
Well, I'm at half.
All right, you and your 13 hit points are running, ducking and weaving and running. And even when you get to the places where the wagons break and you've got a large group of Hungarians, you still manage to blend in so well with the ice and the stone that they don't notice as you're heading back. Valandril isn't trying to hide, as I understand
Oh,
it.
hell no. This is a sprint.
Just straight sprinting. And both of you are headed to the back of the wagon train. We'll have to decide who gets there first.
I feel like that would be an athletics roll.
Would it? Athletics or acrobatics?
Athletics. Cause
Strength?
You're trying to know so.
Because that's a
acrobatics-
strength check.
But acrobatics, you're trying to do something like complicated. You're just trying to get there fast.
Okay.
Gotta go fast, friendo. That's it.
Gotta fix it fast, right?
Yep.
I got it. What's your combat speed?
30.
Also 30.
And do your boots offer any specific...
Let's see.
Write it down.
I should. I just I match the speed of fastest party member or 1.5 times normal speed as an individual. But I'm not an individual. I'm part of a group. I can click my heels and get a +5 to acrobatics.
Does it not mean just like when you're by yourself?
Well, I think... Does it mean that I get 1.5 times speed by myself?
I can't argue with what's written on the card.
What do you mean? Are you telling me no?
No, I mean, that's what it says.
That I get 1.5 times speed?
Yes.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
traveling by yourself and not in a group right now, I believe.
Correct. I'm very much alone.
You even cast
naked and afraid.
Yep. You cast Pass Without a Trace and
Yes.
only covered yourself with it.
Correct.
I mean, you're running by yourself.
Okay, then 1.5 normal. What's 30 times 1.5?
45.
Really? Okay. Then I'm going 45.
All right. I'll then also want to go
Don't
ahead.
appreciate him.
I want to go
He's
ahead
scared.
We're graduating together.
and temper that and say that even though you've got that extra speed, you're also stealthing. So instead of sprinting at one full direction,
Yeah.
you're ducking, you're weaving, you're hiding, and then you're making a quick dash. I would say that puts you guys pretty close to even, which normally wouldn't happen. You would be totally smoked by somebody that had nothing stopping them and had no reason not to be sprinting.
Yeah.
But your Usain boots have given you a boost. So
Faster.
that, yep, you're very close.
I was really hoping to get there quicker.
I love the thought of one of those legitimate train movies where they're chasing each other up and down, and we
Yeah.
got somebody on the roof and somebody on maybe the helicopter's about to come and pick somebody up with the ladder.
I like that.
You guys are on either side of the wagons, and you don't even realize that you're side by side running together. You are sprinting and just full on, just panting like a racehorse, while Monolith has his shoes magically propelling him forward, and he's making all of these complicated maneuvers in between axles and around bear paws and up and over ice hopper legs, and without even knowing it, you guys are neck and neck on either side of this column. And I would say that it's because Valandril is on the side that the rest of your adventuring party is on, that you are the first one that's in auditory range and realizes it. Monolith probably doesn't see them on the other side of the wagon as he's coming in and out. So I'm going to put you guys at practically next to each other, about 50 feet away from the adventuring party, with Valandril getting the absolute first opportunity to yell something.
At this moment, he's running in real fast.
Would I hear him yell? I would hear him.
You will when he does.
Yeah, of course. I got you.
And starts yelling. So he sees Janet, Tammy, and Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
Monolith tried to betray us. He tried to explode me. Don't trust him. Running at full speed with panic in the face.
That's the deception.
Yeah.
Deception check. Deception check. Deception check.
Not yet. And how about you? You're now hearing that from the other side of the wagon.
Then I'm gonna see how this pans out. I'm gonna position myself for a sneak attack.
That's not hard. He runs past one of the wagons as you're coming around the back of it. Keep in mind, you're going opposite the direction the column's moving, so you're not dealing with the pack animals.
Yeah.
You're dealing with the back end of these wagons. And as you peek around the corner, across the through the middle of where the column is marching, you see Valandril approaching the two figures that you've been slowly sneaking up on. He does not see you. You would have advantage if you attacked.
So is he with them?
He's now about 40 feet away.
Okay.
Imagine it like
35
this.
feet
They're
away.
Here, he's here. You're like here.
So I'm just kind of following behind him. I want him to get to them first. I want to be as close to them as possible so that I don't have to like yell and then announce myself to everybody.
Okay, what's your passive perception?
Passive perception is probably not enough to.
Well, I mean, I'm not.
9.
Okay, yeah, you're focused on the two people in front of you, and you're focused on delivering that message, and that's why you have no problem at all coming around the corner of that wagon, crossing through the path that so many of the first several sections have passed over already, and you are, I'd say, I'd say you're a good 10 feet behind him. Right at the moment, he's 10 feet away from them. They both turn around. Would I be putting words in your mouth to say that you would turn around when you heard that?
No.
And the sight that you guys have is your good friend Valandril chugging towards you, and behind him, Monolith is right on his tail. Monolith, what's in your hands?
My swords.
Both?
Oh, both.
And what's in your hands?
I just have the bow right now in one hand.
Okay, so you see Valandril with the bow and Monolith with the swords, and it's on you.
What are you talking about? That boy can't lie for nothing.
You said it in such a calm voice. But
I
just
love that.
imagining, like the distance away.
You're just like, huh? You just said Monolith betrayed him. Nah, that doesn't. No, he wouldn't do that.
Doesn't sound right.
So calm.
I know this is happening, and I keep walking. I'm just like, I don't have time for this right now, guys. I have an in-law to take care of.
At that point, he would shout out, "They offered him 15,000 gold."
It takes a diamond to make Monolith pass out. I don't think 15,000 gold is worth that much.
He almost passed out at a platinum. Just
I
throwing
thought-
that out there.
I thought he did pass out at the sight of a diamond.
Yeah,
That did happen.
Yeah, that happened. He also freaked out over a platinum,
Okay, well,
this is happening.
which
I'm
is like
sneaking. I'm getting closer.
how much gold?
15,000.
What'd he do?
No, I mean,
One
like,
platinum is 10 gold.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 15,000 gold is
A lot of platinum.
1,500
A lot
platinum.
of platinum.
Just to remove a zero.
And a diamond's worth about 350 gold.
So it's a lot of gold.
I don't care enough.
Just a
I'm
lot.
gonna keep walking. Like if one of them
at
gets
this-
if one of them gets close enough to like interfere with our path, I'm going to snatch them by the back of the collar and face plant them into the snow and keep walking.
I still don't know Monolith's behind me, right?
Nope.
As far as I know, I'm just beelining it.
Yep.
I really want him to take his role already. I'm excited for that.
Oh wait, yeah, we don't know that you're there yet.
No.
No, you guys
You
see
can
him
see me.
coming.
Yeah, you
Oh,
see
okay.
what might
I
take
can only
place.
stealth from people who aren't looking directly at me.
Okay, alright.
Is
Well,
it?
yeah.
I
if it-
guess-
What do you look like? Like you look like you're.
I look like I'm holding my swords, and I'm like,
And we'll-
I'm
that'll
looking
go-
at you guys like, no, no, and I'm trying to get to him and attack him before you guys can be like, well, there he is right there, because I'm like,
And Valandril looks blown up and beaten up. So
and I have 2 arrows in me and a
in
dagger.
the back.
Yeah, if either
I
one
would
of
look
them
pretty
gets close
bloodied
enough,
at like 12
I'm
HP.
just gonna grab them and face plant them into the snow.
I do not-
Otherwise, I keep walking. Like, and
Hold
at
on.
this point, I've picked up my pace a little bit.
Yep.
I might be jogging or running at this point.
Okay, you're definitely walking, and Janet Tammy has stopped to address the crowd.
I'm
Still
walking
walking,
backwards.
watching from
Yeah, and I'm
backwards
just
walking.
because I see both him shaking his head no and him walking towards us, and I'm just like,
How close are they?
You are just now all within a handful of feet from each
Okay.
other.
So
You're within attack range.
I'm gonna attack him
Okay.
with advantage.
Yep. And this will be a sneak attack, which means after this is done, then we will roll to see whose turn goes first in the actual roll.
Yes.
Yep.
So
Gotta get higher than a 16.
I know, but I get advantage.
I know, I'm just letting you know, man. I'm actually rooting for you.
I'm just gonna take the first roll because that's higher than 16.
but if you roll it again, then maybe you get a nat 20.
Okay, that's true. I can just
Yeah, and you
roll
can always
twice.
take one or the other.
Yeah. I did not, so
That
I'm gonna
was
take the original roll of like
example.
18.
Okay. That hits.
Next one. No, that's a bad one.
What are we rolling there?
D20 to hit. Advantage.
You'd already accomplished that, right? Oh, your
I'm
second
just
hit?
now hitting. This is the second hit. Yeah, yeah. Sorry. I was like, do I only get what's happening? So I hit twice. I rolled damage. I rolled damage.
You said we're rolling initiative once he's done with that.
Yeah. Or
Okay.
the two. We'll have you all roll, and then you can decide if you're engaged or not.
I'm gonna use this machine.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that'll be best.
2d6 plus 8. Roll that.
2d6 plus 8?
That's one for each sword.
Both
Yeah.
rolls.
We
I'm
aren't
just-
we aren't stealth yet.
Oh, you might kill me.
So that's a total of wow. I don't think I will. I think that blows. I got 12
Okay.
for the first hit. That's just swords. Sneak attack, however, is another 2d6. So I probably should have rolled. No.
Go ahead, roll
no.
the d6.
Wait,
Get rid of the modifier. So. What's that?
restart it. Do it again. Like, do
Why?
your thing.
No, that's great. That's fantastic. Why did it do this?
Is it a number between 2 and 12?
It's
It
six,
said-
it, 2 6s, but the total isn't appearing.
It's saying Nan.
Oh, maybe it's
N-A-N.
like net amount of
Numbers.
numbers.
Just roll the 2 dice.
It says 2 6s. Like I rolled it and it says 2 6s. It's just not saying 12.
Just roll the physical dice.
I want to roll. I want that 12.
Oh, I think it's because you didn't add a modifier.
Oh,
Yeah,
because I didn't add a
zero.
modifier.
Since there's no 0.
Well, I would have loved those 2 6s.
What if you put a 0? No, go ahead. Just roll. This will be it.
Yeah, no, it would have changed it, but whatever. Roll these. Here we go. That's a 7. So 7 plus 12,
12 plus-
19.
Yep.
Noise.
10 health left.
God damn it. Here's your back. And as I attack him, just like slash, I'm like, he is the one who sold off. Check the paper. It has his signature. Does it
Paper
have-
wouldn't be with me.
Oh,
Paper's probably blown up.
Yeah, you probably
that's true.
blew up my contract, asshole.
that's probably true. But I would mention that he sold off the girl. Like he sold Bath to the what are they called?
Heckenthorn.
Heck, he sold the Bath to the lead Heckenthorn.
He's just rolling on the floor with a bunch of blood coming out.
No, you're still standing,
Damn you.
but you are bleeding,
Uh-huh.
and you do look a little scorched. You're probably missing an eyebrow and a patch of hair here and there. And I do like the thought of you having a handful of splinters buried into the side of your face
Maybe a
because of the
little bit
direction.
Like dust and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm literally going Two-Face.
Yep. So that's where we are, and we're now going to roll initiative just to see, just to make sure we're protected from not understanding who should go when.
Right. Okay.
Does your pass without a trace count on this?
No, this is initiative. Pass without a trace, I think it only affects stealth,
right.
which means that I used it wrong the first few times.
20 to 25.
What up?
Tell me those numbers.
21.
21!
It's whoever has the higher dex.
Paper, rock, scissors to see.
Rock, paper, scissors. Best 2 out of 3.
Yeah, and people, please never do this in front of me the wrong way again. The correct way is
Rock.
paper, rock, scissors, shoot on the 4th.
Paper, rock, scissors. What backwards world do you
I
live
agree
in?
with the 4.
Florida.
That's true. He does live in Florida.
You damn
Paper,
Hold
rock,
on. I agree with
scissors,
the
shoot.
I agree with the ba, but it's definitely rock, paper, scissors.
It's rock,
shoot.
paper, scissors. All right, Grant.
Alphabetically.
Grant.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Heathens.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh, Monolith with
You
the
can
first
choose to kill
strike.
me right now if you
I
successfully do it.
Absolutely could. But I don't know
Wow.
if
It
I
all
want
came down to rock, paper, scissors? Or, paper, rock, scissors?
If you're a degenerate.
Rochambeau?
I'll take Rochambeau.
What's-
Parchment, shears.
Rock, paper,
Monolith,
scissors, losers, five.
21.
Rochambeau.
Valandrill, 21. All right, 20 to 15. 10 to 15. 14.
Eh,
What you got?
11.
Okay.
Just barely.
But you don't really care. You're walking.
No, to be honest, no. I mean, I'm not in this. I'm just like, bye.
Just
Yeah.
making sure the order's there.
Yeah.
And that has Monolith taking the lead.
All right. You see,
Boy, I had no idea that it was going to come down to that. That was pretty intense.
Yeah.
as much as like I want to,
Dude.
I know I really want to but I don't know about Monolith. But I think Monolith would probably try to kill him. Like he doesn't really care what the others think. Like this guy sold off a little kid and almost killed me, so he's kind of just single-mindedly like, okay, yeah, Monolith would try to kill him.
I think we all would agree with that.
Remember, higher than 16.
Correct, and I don't have advantage this time.
No, he's looking right at you.
Correct. So,
I see you.
19.
Okay,
Dirty.
that hits.
There it is.
Dirty. Roll number 1. 19 again.
Nice.
Same exact roll. 2 hits.
So 2d6s plus what?
2d6 plus 8 is my swords. But if she's within 5 feet, then I get sneak attack.
Are you adding that +8? Is that a +4 and a +4? You're adding twice, or
Yes, because it's 2d6 plus 4. Well, it's 1d6 plus 4 and 1d6 plus 4.
okay?
So 2d6 plus 8.
I'll take it.
Let's do it separately. But go
Separately?
ahead.
Okay,
Yeah,
I can do that.
Roll your d6 and we'll add the 4, and then we'll roll a d6 and add the 4.
Gotcha.
Or roll them both
D6.
and we'll add 8.
That's 6 total. And 5 total. 6 and 5. 11. And
Plus.
do I get sneak attack because she's within 5 feet?
No.
Well, no, isn't it also a plus 4 or whatever?
You already
It
did
says you don't need advantage on the attack roll if another enemy of the target is within 5 feet of it.
Well,
So-
it doesn't matter. Yeah, you got it.
Also,
She's not.
Jam wouldn't be an enemy yet. She hasn't decided.
Right.
And how
You
many
got it.
how many
I got
points did you?
12. I did 12. 12?
Yeah,
5 plus
11.
11.
11.
But I did 10 anyways.
So the first
Oh,
the
right.
first the first slash hits Valandrill, and he stumbles back a little bit, and it's almost out of the range of
I feel like such a
Monolith.
bad
Monolith,
person.
how's that second swipe go down?
Okay, so the first swipe stumbled him, and the second swipe, for as angry as he is, he's like, "I'm sorry," and he just cuts his head off.
Oh!
Wait. When you killed him, bro, I think he's just unconscious.
He had 10 health, and I did 11
Right,
damage.
but when you get to 0, you
Oh.
just go unconscious.
Do I kill him?
You don't
Do I not kill him?
die.
No. So you won't be cutting his head off,
Darn.
but you did the damage that you did. He is at
Yeah.
we would call it -2.
Uh-huh.
He's at below 0.
Yeah.
At this point, he's on the ground, unconscious, and he will now begin to make death-saving throws, which he could fail. If
Correct.
he gets hit again while on the ground, it's an auto crit, which is 2 fails automatically.
Like if I were to stab him while he's on the ground.
Except,
Or you convince Janet Tammy and she
I would say that. Where did I push you? Okay. Valandril clearly doesn't get his turn as he's unconscious, and it is on Janet Tammy. You have 6 seconds to try to figure out what's going to happen before it moves on.
As
to
I
somebody
just
else's
cut him
turn.
down, and I'm like, I'm ready to
After
go for more.
he just flat out said, "Hey, he tried killing us."
Both of us have been like, he's
Oh yeah,
trying to-
you said something.
So she's like,
Monolith, what in the hell? Can she roll for insight as her action?
Yep.
What is it, D20?
yeah, to determine who's the bad guy.
That's like an even.
10.
Just as confused.
It's hard for you to tell, but you are pretty well convinced that Monolith is telling the truth, and that Valandril, you're the one who, I would say, almost had a relationship with Bath. You have a special place in your heart for her, and you heard him say that he sold Bath to the bad guys. And so
The bad
your
guys.
insight is that Monolith wouldn't make that up.
Right. Monolith, where is Bath?
Can I respond? It's not my turn. It's like,
No, you've used insight. You have movement, and you've
like-
had a little bit of an interaction. Unless Quinn changes her mind, she is continuing to walk, or she's going to come back and get involved. It's up to her.
I see Monolith just completely gank Valandril.
just barely.
I turn around, I'm like, I'm still too sober for this. And I grab Valandril by the back of the collar and start, like, hauling his body off towards the Brickard wagon.
You're about 25 feet away. It would take your movement to get you there, and then you're going to use your strength to pull him. That would be the action you're choosing.
Yeah.
He's a tiny little half elf
I'm dead.
and a carcass. But dead weight's a little harder.
Quinn helps go.
Yeah, go ahead and it's a strength check, and you're just trying to beat 13 to get him sliding on the ground.
Roll for weight. Ooh!
Nat 20.
Ayo.
Oh, you got that
Or it's
regardless.
a dirty 20. Yeah.
Yeah, he starts sliding along the ground, making more noise than was made when he pulled somebody out on their bed cloak.
Which still successfully worked.
That's true.
Yep.
Just like dragging him towards my in-laws wagon. I'm like, okay, this is fine. I've got, you know, partially something about a girl. I'm not drunk enough for this.
It's back on Monolith. Your target is being dragged away from you slowly by Quinn.
There's a lot going on. Because she asked me a question. I knocked him out. She just came up and started dragging him away. Like what we said meant nothing. Just like, who cares if he's an evil person? Let's take. So I'm like, I don't know where she is. Stop dragging him. And I go to stab him.
Yeah.
Can I stop him?
I really want to finish him
Damn.
off.
No, you don't have anything unless you have a reaction, and you wouldn't have one. I mean, like a bonus action you're allowed to use at a turn. It'd be a weird thing for you to have.
It only gives him 2 of the.
Yeah,
dex
only
thing.
2, and then I have to fail the roll.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't roll to hit. It's an auto hit. It's an auto crit.
Yeah.
You take 2 fails.
Wait, are you
And then it
doing
goes to
one
my
or
turn
two?
to roll for the. So
Well,
remind me.
I'm
since
not
it's been a
sure
while since I-
because
sword or
he's
two
got
swords?
he's got one sword that he just hit you with, and that gave you 2
Yeah.
So I
death
could
saves. He's got one more hit.
Oh.
Oh!
Oh yeah.
Oh!
So I could. Oh gosh, I hate this. I hate this.
Grant.
Ah,
Can I
If
just,
anybody was to take me out, I'm glad it's you.
can I look at him and be
Thank
like,
you, brother.
excuse you?
Well, I used the one, and I just kind of like stabbed it into him to stop him from getting dragged.
Oh my god.
Well,
Pin him
As
to the
that
ground.
happens, can I like spit blood out in his face just because of?
Yeah.
You'd be spitting into my face probably because I'm closer.
Look, a geyser of
Your
blood
head.
comes up either
Yeah,
way.
doesn't
Let's just
matter,
say
it
it
hits
spatters everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, it does
So,
the
like-
thing where it goes, and I'm like,
I used the one sword to pin him to the ground so she stops dragging him, and then I used the other to finish him off.
All right.
Oh, you jackass!
That does it. He takes his second hit, and that would equate to the non-existing 4 fails and an actual character death for the first time.
Valen boy.
The pipes are calling.
We'll have time for a wake later. His bleeding, dead, unrecoverable carcass is laying on the snow. Quinn tugs it a few times, but the sword has it stuck into the ground and it doesn't give.
I never got the sign.
So close to titles and lands.
Right?
So close.
When you were talking about titles and lands, I thought you were going to do it amicably. Like, I'm done adventuring. Time to
Okay.
go live my life.
Hold on. Just to answer your question real fast. That wouldn't have happened if on the king line there wasn't a Brickard signature. If it was double Heckenthorn, he would have turned.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So I wanna describe real quick that after he kills him, he's not okay. Monolith didn't like this. He didn't enjoy it because he was like, as much as Valandril and him weren't like the best of pals, it's still weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they did a lot together. So the fan fiction has to end pretty grisly.
It's an angst.
Well,
So
I will
he's,
say
he's like he might be crying a little.
we never got to hear what that second blow was like. You'd
Oh.
already pierced him
did say-
and stuck him into the ground. What was that final death?
So I
death
finished
blow
him
like?
off by stabbing him in, pinning him to the ground so he couldn't get dragged away. So I get a clean shot at his head, and I just clean, just nice, and I didn't want to make him suffer. Just off with his head, and nothing crazy, nothing. I'm like 30. I don't know how old my.
You are
I
killing
think
a child.
I think I'm pretty old. Well, for my character, they're old. I think they only live to be like 75. They're actually they live less.
Really don't. Yeah,
It's
not
weird.
a very long lifespan.
So he just finishes him off, nice and clean. But it has to be done because
He's- he-
only suffering would happen if he were to continue.
Okay.
You don't have to convince me. I just wanted to picture it for when I'm falling asleep.
Gotcha.
So you sever the head from the body that was stabbed into the ground.
Yeah.
And your traveling partner, your adventurer, Valandril, dies in the hard packed snow that the first 4/5 of the column had already tramped over in the polar north. So you guys are all now standing around kind of awkwardly around the corpse. Did you just continue walking, or did you
No.
stop to get engaged in all this?
Oh no, I drop his collar and I'm just standing there and like I'm kind of taking a minute to process the fact that he already looked beat up before he showed up. He's crying and is like just kind of obviously torn up by this death, and somebody that didn't have a good reason, somebody that wanted to kill him in cold blood wouldn't look like that. And so obviously he had a good reason for trying to kill him with everything that we've been through. But like Quinn kind of maybe inadvertently saw herself as sort of a guardian to Valandril. So she looks at Monolith and she's just like, "Excuse you?" and just punches him right in the nose.
This could end badly.
Standard Brickard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you absorb that. Well, I don't know. Do you have 4 points left to take?
I do have 4 points left to take.
Okay, go ahead and subtract those 4 for the punch in the face. Oh, I'm sorry. Could you just a quick D20 roll to make sure you get his tiny little AC? What is it? A 6?
No, it's much better than that.
What's your
What
AC?
is
It's
it?
15.
Okay. Oh, you're
Well,
strong.
17.
Yeah, there we go.
All right,
So
minus
I'll take
4.
4 damage.
My unarmed strike is actually a 5.
So 5 damage.
My
So
bad.
1 more.
Did I?
I'm pretty sure it's that 1 damage that knocked him out several episodes ago. No. I have 8 left. So just don't punch me 2 more times and we'll be fine.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you've been punched and you guys are now standing around. Is there a conversation you'd like to have, or is there anything that you need to do as a group that's standing around your deceased adventuring party member?
Jana Tammy's going to put her hand on Monolith's shoulder and be like, "Monolith, what happened?" And she's also going to cast Healing Word.
Oh,
at second level.
thank Christ.
I cock my fist back and I'm like, better start talking or this
like-
is coming right for your face.
So you guys left. Wait, I gotta get the accent. I don't know how to do like a serious Jersey accent.
There's no
It's all pretty
Wait,
goofy.
No,
like.
there isn't. There
So-
isn't a way to do it. So just like drop it, and
Hey.
and both of us are just like,
Where'd that voice come from?
yeah.
I'll be, so you guys left and we decided to go get the girl to safety cuz Valandril said he knew somebody who would take him to safety. And so we get there, we sneak in, we tell Barthinda that we convinced her. We told her, we made her trust us that we were going to take her to safety. And she did. She believed us. And we took her to the cart that Valandril told us to take her to. And when we got in, it was a trap. It was, what are the names?
It's a trap.
Heckenthorn.
The Heckenthorn.
It was
Goodness,
the
why
lead.
is that so hard for everybody to remember?
It was the lead Heckenthorn. He was there waiting for us, and he betrayed us. So I played along for a very short amount of time, albeit just to get close enough to the lead Heckenthorn and try to kill him. But as I tried to kill him, Valandril tried to kill me. So I tried to kill him, and he did enough to me that I knew I had to leave. So I chucked a grenade in the fireplace and ran away. But not before he was able to put a few arrows in my back and almost finish me off.
7.
7?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So the arrows like pop out, and the wound.
That's kind of
fills
gross.
up.
And then, well, and then you guys saw this. He came here to try to turn you against me, and I didn't give him that opportunity.
So where's the girl now?
That I wasn't able to stop them from taking her. I just ran to you guys.
need to stop them now.
I will certainly try, but they were gone while I was trying to survive. So if we can get to maybe the king, maybe he can tell us their
We need
whereabouts.
to
He has
find
spies.
Valtorin.
He has spies. We need to kill Valtorin and the Brickard that you're probably going for.
Oh,
I
he's
think-
already dead.
Yeah,
Don't you worry about
Precisely.
him.
I
You
think
two go
she's-
find the girl.
I think she's gonna be with them. I think she's gonna be with Valtorin and
And
The
the
Brickard.
head.
Well, the rest of my in-laws aren't pieces of shit. So,
That's good.
how about I go get them? Then
Okay.
we have some other people on our side. And
Okay.
if I find Brendine on the way there, I will bring you back his head.
Perfect. That sounds lovely. You could do that metaphorically. You could just tell me he's dead. I really don't need an actual head.
Oh no, I'm bringing you his head.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'll see you then.
we need to be as fast as we can. We cannot let anything happen to this girl.
Agreed. And-
What are you still standing here for?
So the two of you are racing towards the front.
We're racing towards
Wait, why?
where the Heckenthorns were.
They were at the front. You guys have worked
So
your
we're
way to
going
the back.
separate ways. We're going like opposite directions. You're going towards the front of the column, and I'm going towards the back.
You're almost at the back, so
Yeah.
you're practically at where you're headed, and you guys are about to cover 4/5 of the wet column.
I feel like everybody's gonna be in the same place.
Yeah.
The explosion took
likely-
place in the first segment of the column.
Right. I think everybody we're looking for is gonna be in the same place. So why are we splitting up?
I'm still going to get my in-laws because there's no way that we're going to be able to handle whatever they're going to throw at us next. Just the 3 of us.
True.
Because you got all the brutes, you got the leaders of the brutes, you got the king, who may or may not just be like,
Evil
you
of some
know,
kind.
I have
What's made you
that I
people
know
so
will not screw me
untrusting?
over.
I don't
So-
know. I don't know what could have done it. What could have made us such untrustworthy bunch? Was ambiguous, good and bad.
Is it my fault you never ask for an insight roll?
My insight sucks. I get -1. I'm never gonna ask. Oh wait, actually, that's a lie. That's investigation that gets a -1.
Quinn turns on her heels and begins to jog the last.
Before I do that, I look down at Valandril's body. Do I still have like the bottle that I got from the Brickards, like that bottle of liquor that I was drinking? Or
No, you've gone through a lot since then. You've been tied to chairs and stuff,
That's fair.
and
Okay.
uh,
I look down at him and just stand there for a second, and I'm just like, asshole. I kick him and then leave.
Right.
When you kick him, one of the pouches on his belt kind of breaks open and some coins scatter on the ground. He's wearing his full adventuring gear, just like all of you are, carrying all of your stuff with you.
I loot the body.
I'm pulling up my D&D Beyond so she can see.
Have you guys already left?
I am too distraught to loot the body. I don't think I would. As much as I love money, I think I'm gonna hold off on that.
That says a lot about what's going on inside you, Monolith. Jan and Tammy?
I'm more concerned about getting to the girl.
Is it considered a group if I'm with him?
It's at least 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
How so? In what way?
I just have this spell that gives me 10 extra feet of speed. So like I would have 40 speed instead of 30 speed.
He would too, with his boots.
So I was gonna cast that
Okay.
at first level so that I can be fast, and then I'm gonna like grab him by the like.
Well, I'm going 45.
No, you're now
These guys
with
because I'm with
somebody.
her. Okay, so now you're gonna take me.
Yeah, and it's not like a dragging him. I'm just like, I'm so like amped up. I can't like physically not like grab.
Absolutely.
His shoulder.
And think about it now. Instead of walking opposite the direction the column is moving, you're walking with the direction. So you're not going to cover the ground as quickly, but you're also traveling at a faster speed, which almost completely counteracts the fact that you're now going with traffic instead of against it, and you are making pretty good time towards the front. I can leave you alone for about the 15 minutes that you're walking, and you can have conversations and talk and make plans as you're going. But we're going to get back to Quinn at the back because she's all of 2 minutes away from knocking on a door, which right now, as we zap back to her, she's knocking on it. And the door opens, and a servant opens the door and says, "Oh, welcome back, Quinn."
Yeah, I need to talk to Mom and Dad.
Well, of course. Our house is yours. Come on in.
Because
The whole family is sitting around the same table. It looks like they've recently taken a meal. To you, it's kind of unnerving because when you left them, they seemed to all be sitting just like that evening.
ooh, that's weird.
And now, middle of the day, you're back and everybody's still right there. It just was a coincidence. They were in the same position because of, well, just like when you were there, they were entertaining, and right now they're doing the same thing.
Okay. All right. Is Brendine in there? Do I see him?
You do not.
Okay.
You see your in-laws, and you see probably 4 other brickards that look a lot like the family face, the family nose especially, that family throat that you could get your hand around,
Family face.
but not
Sorta.
the face that looks exactly like the one that you married.
Okay. All right. I go up to Mom and I take both of her hands and I kind of like kneel down in front of her. I'm like, Mom, I really hate to tell you this, but Brendine had Bryce killed or tried.
No.
Yes.
No.
This is a long story. And
But-
I would love to explain it to you, and I'm sure Bryce could explain it to you, because obviously, and I show her wrong hand, this hand. I show her the ring again. I'm like, obviously, he's alive. You know I'm telling the truth. I don't have time to explain, because
Get in the car.
yeah, no time to explain. Get in the car.
What's a car?
Well, who told you this? I can't even begin to believe.
Brendine told me this right before he knocked me out, and I dropped my head forward so she can see the giant goose egg on the back where he clocked me.
As you raise your head back up after exposing the goose egg, the woman in front of you is no longer the same. She looks completely broken.
Oh.
And there are tears in her eyes. It's almost as if it was something she could have believed without proof, and it was just that little bit of proof that put it over the top for her.
Oh no, Mom.
She
no.
is
It's a
broken.
solemn episode.
I would say for the next 5 minutes, there's a conversation that takes place between all of you. You impart everything that you know, and
Profusely apologize for having upset their family dynamic.
during that time, you hear that this is a society where this type of thing isn't unheard of, but every family likes to believe that they're above it, and every family that's not involved in that kind of thing assumes it's all the other families that are causing the problems. And it's probably overwhelming for a law-abiding family that is proud of their country and proud to be citizens. Because Dad's pissed. He walks over to one of the corners of the wagon and grabs a lever that he pulls, and there is a loud horn that sounds, whether it's compressed air or something. Maybe it's a signal to a hornman. But this sound goes out, and it is a deep, somber horn, and it can be heard up and down the column. It's not only an indicator that something tragic has happened, it's a call to action for everybody that is in the family that possesses that particular horn. All the brickards and all of their soldiers break formation and swarm around the wagon that is holding you and is still moving forward. He opens the wagon door, and as they're slowly moving and as the crowd that's amassed is walking with the wagon, he yells out what the problem is, and he says that there's a girl named Bath at the front of the column.
Headed the right way.
And if we do not get there to stop her, we will lose our king, and we'll be under the rule of somebody that'll make sure we don't see the light of day. And 100 soldiers, 20 of them mounted, 80 on feet, begin to sprint towards the front of the column. Already, the first several sections of the column have started to slow. The horn that was heard from the back is not one that you normally hear while the column is moving forward. And it takes just a moment for the whole column, the first section to come to a stop, and then the second to get caught up, and then the third and the fourth. And there's just a wave of flurry of feet and swords and spears and polar bears and ice hoppers moving towards the front. And they arrive at roughly where Janitami and Monolith are, which is just about at the first segment, and then overtake them both. And all of you arrive at the front at about the same time. There are 100 soldiers that are Brickard specific, and there are the three of you.
I pop out of the wagon and drop down next to them. I'm like, I brought the cavalry. Let's do this.
Like, thank you. That, yeah, we're gonna need people like that. This is just the two of us.
Oh yeah, I know.
Thank
That's
you.
why they're here.
For the long and the short of it, I will just say that everybody here has been mobilized. The leaders of the Brickard family have given orders, and doors are being knocked on. Questioning faces are showing up in windows, and it's the king's own wagon, which has now come to a complete and full stop with the rest of them, whose door opens, and King Jules himself is standing in the doorway. This is a dangerous place for somebody to stand whose life has been in danger, but he's got the look of a man who's not about to concern himself with his own safety. He looks out and sees the three of you close by, and he says, I take it you're making progress.
More than you'd expect, I suppose.
Please tell me what's happening.
Well, the people that are trying to kill you are both Valtorn, Heckentorn, and Brendine Brickard working together. I believe they have taken Little Bath. I believe you know about her.
How did they get her? How did they find out about her?
Well, that would be, if you notice, there's only three of us.
Yeah.
I had to kill off the fourth member. He was the reason she got taken and the reason she was found out to begin with.
Adventureside.
So one of your party turned on Bath?
Correct.
One of our party members.
And you don't know where she is currently?
Just
on
in
our way to find her.
Heckentorn hands.
Whose?
Well, when I got into the cabin that was an ambush, it was the elder Heckentorn, and Do I know who he?
Yeah,
Was it just two
Brian's
guards
there.
taking him? her
Two
away?
guards left with her,
So
one on each arm.
and just two guards took her. Nobody specific took her, but the lead Heckentorn, he was there.
Well, you may have saved me today. And he steps back inside, and you hear him issuing orders, but you can't hear what the words are. And then 6 people come popping out of the door. They're all dwarves that are dressed like all the other soldiers that you've seen, but they're wearing a cape on the back that's half purple, half red. And as they pop out, they start running around to some of the different wagons, and they don't knock on the doors. They just open them. They start walking under and looking around. Apparently, these guards have no hindrances. They can go wherever they want.
Dwarven special forces.
Yeah, precisely.
Dwarven
Dwarven seals.
Yeah.
Dwarven seals.
Yep.
SEAL team
Dwarf
under
team
6
6.
foot.
The explosion that had occurred not terribly long before had already been. There was an attempt to clean it up and to keep that wagon moving forward. The elder Francis, who had been injured and also ended up on the ground with the guard next to Valandril after the explosion, was no longer there. The wagon had continued moving forward, and you guys are completely unaware of where he might have even ended up. I'm going to have you guys help. And is there anything that you can do that would help you find Bath? Is there anything that, other than just having you roll for just a regular investigation roll, is there anything that you would like to add to this search that would change anything?
Maybe.
Maybe I could turn into something that has better eyesight and do a search.
Anything you want to try? I'm just...
I can't fly, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, I don't have much except pass without trace, which
I'm just
I could
gonna
just
kick
sneak around.
indoors really fast.
I'm gonna be. I'll sneak around. I'll sneak and listen. I'm trying to listen for like hushed tones or like a phrase saying bath or something like that.
Or the girl, maybe.
Or the girl herself being like, "Stop it!"
Or, just someone saying, oh, the girl, do something
Yeah.
to the girl. Like, take her somewhere.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's no more children in this group.
Right.
Yours is going to be, even though you're not intentionally intimidating, what you do is very intimidating. So I'm going to have you roll for intimidation. I'm going to have you roll for... yours is going to be perception because you're listening.
Mm-hmm.
And Janet Tammy, you're going to actually walk around and investigate. You're doing a close look, and it's a specific kind of search that you're doing.
Okay, can I turn into...
Are you gonna ask for advantage?
Yes, but I don't know how.
Let's just hear the number and see how the rest does.
10.
Okay.
I was hoping I could turn into like a wolf.
Oh.
Oh, there you go. Sniff, sniff.
Sniffy,
Snurf,
sniffy.
snurf. Do you have anything of hers on you? Because
But I
you
could
could
probably go to like...
wish.
once I turn into
I
a
gave
wolf,
her
I'll
the
go to
flower.
like the kitchen.
Yeah.
The kitchen...
Oh, but
what are they called? Carts.
I'm gonna inform you that there are more of her, or that her flowers are on the back of her cart. Is that near where we are?
Sure.
if
Everybody's
you
come
need
to
to
a,
sniff
everybody's
something,
come to a
smell
stop, so everything's a lot closer together than
Yeah.
it was before.
So like if you need something of the girls to sniff, I mentioned that she has flowers on the back of the cart.
So like, my thing is that I'll go there and I'll sniff the flowers and I'll go
Okay.
wolf if that's okay.
So you become the wolf, and now you're going to get advantage on your investigation roll. You're investigating with your amazing sense of smell and your eyesight. We had a 10 on intimidation.
What is it? Investigation?
Yep.
17? 18 minus 1?
Okay. And how about you?
For persuasion. I got-
Perception.
Perception?
Yep.
Oh yes, perception. I got 16.
Okay. I just needed a winner, and It looks like the wolf was the winner. And Janet Tammy, as a wolf, it's first the smell that attracts you to a particular wagon, and then your sharp ears that allow you to hear the muffled cries of a young girl.
Can I say something? The like 3 flower crowns that she had on her arm are just around her beefy wolf arm now.
Okay.
Beefy wolf arm.
Okay. You've located where she is, and it's in the Heckentorn family wagon, which maybe shouldn't be a surprise, but that's where that's where she is. This isn't the elder Heckenthorn study. This is the wagon that the family rides in, like the Brickard wagon. Do you notify people?
Yeah. Can I say it was a dire wolf instead of like a normal wolf?
Yep.
Cool. She's totally seen those around. They eat her pigs all the time. She's gonna howl. She's gonna full on howl.
Oh, clever.
Yeah.
All right, that brings everybody. The
Can
door.
she, like,
Punch.
kick in the door with her like, I don't know, dog legs, I guess.
I don't think dog legs.
Yeah,
do
you're
that.
right. Never mind. I retract my statement. I'm gonna wait for what you were gonna say.
Okay, but you're standing outside of the wagon and howling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Run around it in circles so it sounds like there's more of you.
I was gonna say, as I run towards the door, I'm gonna drink a regular potion of healing.
Okay. Go ahead and add
Just
that.
to-
Add that to your health, and just let it be known that there are so many people, the entire Brickard small army, and the dwarven seals of how'd we do?
2 ones.
2 months. Managed
Dwarf
to
Team
get
6.
2 months.
Yep,
Plus
Dwarf
2.
Team 6 is
Yeah.
definitely
400 feet.
looking around. And all of them converge on this wagon, and the door is thrown open, and people pour in, and you find a small girl tied to a chair, much in the way that Quinn had been before, and
Really like
her hands have been separated, and there's a stick on either side keeping her from bringing her hands together, as if that's an important thing. And at the same time, you see a very young version of the old man that you'd seen, that you gather might be the son of Francis.
Yeah.
And Quinn, you see somebody that looks exactly like your husband.
I'm booking it straight for him.
You guys are in a wagon filled with a bunch of different people.
I'm like leaping over dwarves and dodging through.
And you have no problem getting there. And I would say that your party, since you'd arrived at the wagon first, especially with the howling, allows you guys to have access to that. And a flurry of activity occurs. If you'd like to go ahead and just walk us through without rolling anything, you go ahead and pummel to your heart's content. What happens?
Okay, I am straight up just gonna like tackle him to the ground, just bulldog him straight into the floor and grab him by the throat. And I'm just like, you tried to kill one of us. You tried to kill both of us. You wanted the throne, and now you're dead. And I just grab him by the hair and rip as hard as I can to try and like separate the tendons in his neck and it like separate his cervical vertebrae.
Oh, why you gotta get so specific? Just say
Rip
tear his
his
head
head
off.
off.
Thank
Keep
you.
going. Keep going. The strings of his
separate-
muscles start pulling.
You gotta separate,
they're
uh,
snapping as
yeah,
it
it-
comes apart.
Your
It
6th
strains
disc
and then
from
just
the
kind of-
5th disc, and
It's
the larynx has to
uh,
separate at the esophagus level. And
C3 and C4. C3 and C4.
yeah, I was
Severed.
making up medical terminology.
Nobody's stopping you. You continue. There's no turns. Nobody gets a chance to try and swing back at you. The only thing that's happening besides people slowly moving in on the scene that's occurring is Valturin, who's slowly backing up and saying, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." There's no order of operation. Who would like to do
I
what?
want to shoot him with a crossbow. I just want to be like, whoa, this.
And what was your action at the same time?
I was gonna do something intimidating, but instead I'm going to go to Bath and literally bite the restraints on her hands off, and like curl around her and like growl at anybody that comes near.
Describe how you do that.
How I bite the things off?
Yes. Like, what do you do in what order?
They're like ropes, right? You said.
She's on a chair. She's tied to it with her.
Arms
She's
pulled
tied to the
apart.
chair, and behind her, her arms are being held. Her hands are being held apart by a stick and some bindings.
I'm gonna bite the stick in half so that her hands can come together again.
That's the first thing you do.
And then the second thing I do is
You don't get to do a second thing.
cool.
Let's go ahead and fire that crossbow because you did that right before the wolf went over to Bath. Dire wolf.
Oof, that's probably gonna be a miss. That's a 9.
Yes, the bolt flies through the air and flies through his hair, which is out and kind of bushy, and does not hit his body at all. It certainly scares him because he stops looking at Quinn, and now he's saying to you, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa!" And at that moment, a dire wolf, with all the best intentions, snaps through the stick that's holding the hands apart from Bath, who, after
She's gonna
hours, or no, I guess long minutes of struggling to get her hands together, is finally able to clap them together behind her back. When she does, there's a flash of light and a flash of noise that none of you get to recognize because you're pretty unconscious immediately.
Oh.
The wagon explodes outward in a ball of fire, and I'm going to need all three of you to roll a dex save. We're looking for a 14 or higher.
Can I roll for old time's sakes?
Sure, let's see what would have happened if your carcass was there.
Oh, phew.
14 or higher.
Gotta go 14 or higher.
18.
Jesus
Okay.
I would have
Christ.
lived.
Nice.
7?
I don't wanna. I don't
7?
wanna.
I just want to point out something to you.
I don't wanna do it.
D&D Beyond specifically puts in parentheses next to my name now.
Dead.
Oh, that's funny. Okay.
It's fantastic.
Well, that's pretty garbage. My dex saving throw. Yeah, I got 10.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna die, guys.
I also got a 7.
So what you
It was
deserve.
nice knowing you.
What if it turns out you killed me for no reason? These were the good guys the whole time.
All right,
That would really suck.
Zoe, it's happening right here.
How much damage are you taking?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 total. And who saved? You only take 4.
Oh.
8 for everybody else.
Oh.
Just to be
wrong
honest.
way. Wait. Command Z.
No, it was at 19.
Okay, good. So that's 7, 8, so just 16.
The explosion wasn't one of gunpowder and fire. It was one of bright light and an energy that almost seems like it's not an energy you'd even encountered before. It was other planar in a way. However, it was the kind of radiant energy that blew the wagon apart, and you are sitting amongst the rubble. Not like what Valandril had sat amongst, because that was literally fire and explosion. This was just... It's like another dimension appeared and disappeared for a second. And the entire area is just crumbles. Brandine is dead.
Good.
It was you. You were able to get the last of the oxygen out. You were able to watch his eyes go from scared to slack. You were there watching it happen. I would not even say it was unnerving to do that to somebody that looked so much like Bryce, because you knew exactly whose hands or whose throat you had your hands around. While there's
Now I gotta go write him a letter.
I'm going to go ahead and have one more person. Valtorin is hurt but alive, and he's standing amongst the rubble and the other people that had been in the wagon that got thrown away based on the explosion. Over the next few minutes, he's taken captive, and King Jules has pulled you into his royal throne room, and we're gonna stop you right there because you have located the bad guys, you have thwarted the assassination attempt, And while you don't see Bath anywhere, you also know that she doesn't seem to be in a position where her life is in danger like it had been not too long ago. We will figure out exactly what all that means when we get back, and the king has a chance to talk to you. But for now, I think it's time for us to start our weekend. Even those of us that might not have survived the campaign, this will be the last time in the near future that we have Tyler Ozzy Oswald with us on the stream. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Yep. You and Joe are graduating from your bachelor's degree program. You're marching across the stage next Friday. We'll be showing a rerun next Friday and not streaming because we'll all be at the graduation watching that happen and trying not to be emotional about it. Try as we might, the Friday after that when we return, we'll be back with Monolith and Janet Tammy. And we might get a special guest appearance from Quinn before it's all over. And we might even get a chance to get some resolution on all the craziness that's just occurred. So until we come back, everybody out there in Twitch land and YouTube land, thank you for being here. And you have a happy, happy weekend. And good luck, Valandril.
I'm dead. Even D&D Beyond says
Dead.
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 Just dead.